by Mick Cavill. Let's try again. Oh, go on, get out of here and fuck off. All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerdman, and today I'm here with the film elitist, and we will be talking Succession talk. Is Kendall Roy dead? And what do we think about it? What have we thought about season 3? We'll be ranking the episodes. Who deserves the Emmy out of this fucking incredible cast of actors and performers? That's what we're going to be discussing today. Also, sorry, I just remembered one guest star that we have to put on Film Elitist. I'm gonna get his name right now. Give me 1 second. Justin Kirk was also guest starring this season. And we'll talk about him later. I'll send you a link to Mr. Justin Kirk.
Got it.
So, yeah, man. I mean, there's only one way to start this off, isn't there? Really. Team Logan all the way, bruv. Team Logan. He's gonna win, bruh. All right, cool. All right, let's start the discussion up anyway. So man, you've been watching Succession. I didn't I get you to start watching Succession? Didn't I? I told you guys stop watching your MCU bullshit and start watching Succession. Only you listen to me because you're the smart one.
So I was talking to someone about this earlier. Thanks, man. I was talking to someone about this earlier. I was telling them about the show, and they were like, "It looks kind of generic, and it looks like just a bunch of white guys in suits, and like there's a family thing. Like I've seen this before." And I thought the same thing when I saw that the promos were very unspectacular. But then I saw Lantern Alex raving about it. And I thought, all right, I should give this a chance. And I saw it won the Emmy for Best Drama. And I thought, well, if it won the Emmy for Best Drama with all these white people in it, and it's a show about capitalism and like they're basically running Fox News, it must be a fucking good show to like get the awards like that. So I gave it a shot. Man, I was sold about halfway through the first season, dude. That's when I started. I really got sold on it. And then season 2 is one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen. I can comfortably say that.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Couldn't agree more with you about season 2. I didn't really know how they could go up from season 1.
Right.
You know, I was kind of like, oh, this is maybe it's going to dip in quality, you know. But it season 2 just went, you know, to the next level almost. And what I thought was wonderful about this show, it's kind of it seems like, you know, a very punchy show where you can kind of get into it quite easily in some ways. But at the same time, it's a little bit of a slow burn as well, you know. So in the first episode, you meet this family and you kind of despise them, really. I mean, all of them. Particularly Roman, you know, of all of them, that you get this feeling this guy is a complete sociopath and a horrible individual. By the way, this is going to be full spoilers discussion. So
I like it.
There will be spoilers along the way. I'm not going to like go into every episode of every season, so it's not spoilers like that, but there will be some spoilers. So but anyway, the thing that Roman does to the kid in the baseball, you know, during
when he writes the check out to him,
I'm just like, I was absolutely appalled by I was appalled by this individual. I was like, this guy is a fucking jerk. I mean, he $1 Million Man this little kid,
Right.
in an even more vicious way. And so it was amazing to me that I found myself after 3 episodes or 4 episodes thinking, hey, I quite like this guy now. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
after they get you so involved in these characters that you end up identifying somehow with the scum of the literal earth. These
Well, it's
guys are
like
the scum of the earth.
for people that don't know, that it's a show about this family that basically owns like what would be the equivalent to Fox News, right? And it's this media empire with all these theme parks and these other things attached to it, and they're all vying for power. Who's going to take over from the father? Who's kind of the patriarchal, the media mogul guy, the CEO, the top dog. And what you find out is like they're all scumbags. They're capitalist, money grubbing scumbags that were born into privilege. But then, like Nerdman is saying, you start to see things about their lives, like there's sexual trauma, or there's addiction, or there's like dynamics of how they want to feel their father's love or his acceptance, and they all have their unique arcs. And what's great about the writing on it is you'll feel something for them, and then they're a piece of shit again. You're rooting for this person to be in power,
Right.
then you're rooting for someone else. You never feel like things are simple, which I like that, you know?
Right. And they are, they are all pieces of shit, and you realize, but they're
Yes.
so human at the same time. That's the thing. I mean, just to give the most obvious example is Logan Roy himself, who is the biggest twat, racist, scumbag, sexist piece of shit you'll ever meet. The same vulnerable old man. He is a vulnerable old man trying desperately to hold on to what he created. It's his thing, it's his baby. You know what I mean? This company, he made it what it is, and you can see the seeds of why he made it what it is because of
Hmm.
how this he can be.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like his children are just trying to take it away from him, and they don't fucking deserve it. I mean, no one
Oh
deserves
boy.
that kind of power to be real. But to the power to decide presidents and do all of that kind of stuff. I mean, these guys are literally have the Republic of the United States in their fucking palm, and they're dipshits, you know.
Yeah.
But
One of my favorite
his
episodes.
vulnerability is amazing to me. Like how they juxtapose that vulnerability he has. That he's really like he's over the edge. He's gone like as a he's an old man. But anyway, Tommy, what was one of your favorite episodes?
Oh,
Well,
you were
one of your
saying the thing
favorite
about the
moments.
picking the presidents. I love that scene when Tom is talking to Kendall and he's like, I've seen you get fucked a lot and I've never seen him get fucked once. And they're picking the
Yeah,
president right now in that hotel room. And then he's walking up and you see them like kind of like the skull and bones fraternizing thing going on, and Greg is getting lifted up. It's just so accurate to like what American politics actually is.
you're right, exactly, and it's scary that it can be that because it's couched in this brilliant humor, brilliant dialogue, um and it's funny, but like, yeah, it's scary that actually these kind of individuals are deciding the fates of countries, you
Hmm.
know so yeah, I think it's I think we've spoken very very highly of it. We should probably get to the topic at hand. Is Kendall Roy dead, bro?
Oh
And
man.
what do you think if he is dead?
Okay. So first, oh,
Darth
longer.
Lunga, my boy, man, my boy. We've just got into just to say, like, Film Elitist was going to start talking. Is Kendall Roy dead? And what do we
Yeah,
think of it?
I was looking at that. I was like, wow. Go ahead, but go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt
On
if you
Film
just start
Elitist,
talking.
what were you going to
Hey,
say?
what's up, Lunga?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, good man. I was not expecting that. I'll say that. Uh, and I just have to touch quickly on the scene that he had with Logan earlier in the episode where they had that talk. There was kind of a finality to that. Like, I did the best I could for you. Who are you to call me a piece of shit? Fuck off, kiddo. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, almost like we've said everything we can say to each other. We can't keep going around like this. And you feel like
Mm,
Kendall's kind of at his end in some ways. But here's why I don't think he is dead. One, when he was telling him, how long do you think that kid was gasping for breath? How long do you think he was sucking in water? I think Kendall is trying to see what that would feel like, and he's fucked up and he drops his beer because he's drunk and he's high. He's a fucking drug addict. I think he's trying to recreate that moment. And also, I'm just saying this, man. Like, if you look at season 2, when they're on that boat in the finale, he's in the crucifix pose when he's in the pool. He gives Logan the Judas kiss. There's a cross behind them. There's the Last Supper thing going on. There's a lot of religious, biblical symbolism. I think my theory is that Kendall is at his wit's end, but this is the resurrection moment. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a coma, or maybe he passed out while he was doing that in the water. But he's about to come back and fully realize, I am slightly better than my dad, but I'm still a piece of shit too, and I'm going to use the things he taught me to take him down.
I think I couldn't have put it more eloquently myself. Like, I think this is going to be a cliffhanger. I think he's in a coma, and this is the cliffhanger to the final to this season. Basically, that we're wondering, is he dead? I get the feeling, like, just talking about this guy's career, because he's taken off. Mark, I think his name's Mark Strong, right?
Jeremy
Strong. Sorry, Jeremy Strong has just taken off, and he is a hell of an actor. I mean, he's up there with fucking a heavyweight in fucking hell. I've forgotten all the fucking cast name right now.
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, exactly. He's up there with Brian Cox, and he's mixing it up with Brian Cox, one of the finest actors of his generation, or any generation. And he's just there with him. And I've seen him in other films, and this guy completely disappears into roles, to the point that I saw him in a role and I didn't even realize it was him until halfway through the movie. So he's an incredible actor. So my question is, maybe he's in some kind of contractual negotiations or something, and his movie career is taking off, and he's thinking,
you have the worst takes ever.
Really? What do you think? Go on, Luca.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he is the weakest actor of the ensemble in the family. He is the weakest of all of them. Kieran Culkin outshines him. I mean, Brian Cox, obviously, we know he everyone is in his shadows. But Kieran Culkin was way better than him. I don't remember her name, but the actress plays Shiv is spectacular. Tom is great.
Absolutely.
Even Connor. I mean, well, he's been around for a long time.
He's been around for a long time.
Cameron.
He's been for a long time.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No, but I think he's the weakest actor, and it could be because I really hate Kendall.
Thank you. Are you Team Logan?
Hold on. We're talking about Succession, so it can't be Team Logan, because Logan is the guy in charge. He's the king.
All right. I'm Team Logan.
I'm Team Shiv.
Okay. Yeah.
The reason why the epiphany happened. First of all, film release, it doesn't look like he just like wanted to feel something. And the resurrection moment, he already had that. He already had that when he got clean and came up. He had his resurrection moment already. He passed out, dude. That wasn't him like looking, or he passed the fuck out. He's pulling a Jim Morrison. He's pulling a Jimi Hendrix. He passed out. He's gonna die in his own vomit or die in the pool because he passed the fuck out. Could be, or he could be safe. He may not die. He may be. Wow. I mean, I can't say. I don't know. It was very confusing the way they left it. It was a huge cliffhanger, so we don't know, because he wasn't in the water long enough to make that judgment. You know what I mean? So we don't know if he's dead, but I don't think it was. He did pass out, so he's either going to be dead, or he's going to be in a coma, or he's going to be in the hospital. It wasn't something him just like testing himself or like seeing what something feels like or fucking around. No, I think he's either dead or he's going to be like, someone has to save him or something from the pool.
Right.
So that's what I think about that. But the epiphany moment with Shiv, when that scene with Tom, when she said, I want to have a baby, and she pulls that whole, I don't love you. It's what I've been feeling the entire series, that this is just a marriage of convenience, and they try to play it off with that. Oh, I'm just, I'm polyamorous. I like that. Let's do. And it's not even about just the sex. Tom is weak to her. Yeah. Shiv is her father. After she had a talk with her mother, and how her mother talked about how your father just would kick a dog to see what will happen, and he didn't care. I think she realized that. I think she thought she was more like her mother, cold like her mother. I think she realized I'm not like my mother. I'm more like my father. And
well, I don't even think that's what she realized. I think that's what the show was demonstrating. That's exactly what she's doing, essentially.
Well, we're talking about from her perspective.
She's doing that to Tom. She's constantly fucking with this guy, and she's kicking him, as many times as she possibly can in the nuts to see if he's going to come back.
She's testing him. Is he worthy of being her husband?
Just to respond quickly to what Lunga's saying, I got to agree with Nerdman. I don't think he's the weakest part of the ensemble at all. I think he's fantastic. I do understand why people wouldn't like Kendall, because he's the cringiest of all of them. He's the most unsure of himself in a lot of ways. Right. Weak at times, yes, absolutely. But I think what you're saying about Shiv is true, but they all have parts of their father in them. Roman has, in some ways, the killer instinct business-wise, the lack of empathy for people, that he can just step on them like bugs to get what he wants. Shiv has the manipulation tactics, some of the seeing the 4D chess moves, and then Kendall has, he has the vision,
the ambition,
right, and the ambition
and vision,
and he's the only one that's ever really gone up against him. Shiv has been under his thumb the last season and a half. Roman has been under his thumb. They're still trying to impress him. Kendall went toe-to-toe with him and lost. That's why I say resurrection. This is either the end or this is the resurrection. It can only be one.
You got to look at go. Sorry, real quick. You got to look at Logan, like Mr. T in Rocky 3, and how they said, Rocky, you can't go toe-to-toe with him. You have to go around him, and that's why Apollo Creed had to teach him how to move. Shiv is doing moves. She knows you can't go toe-to-toe with Logan. You will always lose if you go toe-to-toe with him. And that's what Kendall tried doing, and that's why he loses. Shiv is playing this dancing game. That's why she tried manipulating the seats. That's why she tried manipulating the thing with 4 seats for both of them and then being in there. And it's not working, but she's not giving up either. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And as far as Roman goes,
Roman I used to think was a dipshit, but he doesn't have
killer instinct. Everything he does is to get his father's approval.
Wait. He's got killer instinct, bro. You can't tell me he hasn't got killer
instinct. Is for personal gain. He's not doing anything for personal gain. He's doing everything for his father's approval.
Oh, I think they all are. They all are in a way, but I'm saying he's got the killer instinct in the sense of he doesn't have empathy for people, and he will do anything to get his father's approval.
That scene where he picked the presidential candidate, man, shows it the most of anything. Shiv was like, I can't even take a picture with this guy.
Right, but if his father's gone,
but if he loses
it, he won't have it anymore.
No, he will. If he changes his focus, right, to actually doing things just for himself. If his father, alienates him enough at some point, and he realizes, hey, because the beautiful thing about what Logan is doing is he's playing all of them. I mean, he's playing them like a fucking fiddle. Roman realizes that, and he uses all of that killer instinct just for himself. He's a viable candidate. I'm not saying he's the best of them,
Oh no. Yeah, no. I mean, technically, even Connor's a candidate. I mean, they all are candidates. You know what I mean? And
Kendall's the only one right now that doesn't seem like he is, and that's exactly why I think it's about to be some kind of reversal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he is. He just went about it. He took the wrong strategy. He thought that he could take the bull by the horns and just go at him full force, and you can't do that with Logan.
Yeah.
True.
You will always lose that.
I always love every time fucking Logan just spanks Kendall back down to fucking reality. I love
how much is enough though. That last episode was soul crushing, dude.
Well, even his mother crushed him before his father did. His mother did it.
That's right, Longa. That whole dude.
No, that was his father by proxy.
He is
truly. His mother gave in.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. And that showed him something, that showed him like it's always going to be this.
It was her new husband. Her new husband wanted that. So she put her new husband that she's barely known wants above her son.
Yeah.
Right. Kendall has no one at this point.
It's a toxic thing. I mean, look, here's the thing about Kendall's death. I'm out if he's dead. I'm sorry. I hate Kendall. I want Roy to keep spanking him down. But ultimately, in me, the storyteller, the person who thinks about story, knows that Kendall should probably be victorious, or it should come down to the wire between Kendall and his father at some point, even if Shiv takes over in the end, and if that's how they finally resolve the story. Kendall and Roy are the main fucking event of this show, and whatever side you're on,
I have never seen it.
I don't want him winning like this.
This is not how. There's one segment
how Roy wins. Even if I wanted him to win, this is not the way.
To lead credence to why he could die is because there's one other aspect of what happened at that wedding that hasn't been talked about. There's his mother smacking him down. There was his father smacking him down, feeling he has nobody. His siblings are pushing him around at the party for his birthday party. He's nobody's there for him. One thing you're also forgetting is, what was the last bit of his assistant's talk? That story that the kid he killed in that accident is going to come back into play, and he's realizing that not only does he have nothing, and all his moves have failed, and everything around him is falling apart. If that comes up, it will completely destroy anything he wants to do. And without this, he's realizing
Logan as well. Logan can't have that come up.
He'll survive. He'll bounce right back. My son was a drug addict. We've talked about this before. He's had problems.
Yeah,
he won't. His playing it and hiding it won't come out.
Yeah, but if Kendall knows the people that cleaned it up and he can implicate them, then that fucks Logan.
Yeah, it completely fucks.
No one believes Kendall.
Can't afford for that to come out.
No one believes Kendall anymore. The media doesn't believe him anymore. No one believes him anymore.
You've got a point. That's a very, very good point. They could just go, I don't know what he's talking about. It's that simple. And everyone, all the witnesses, I mean, who's going to go against him? Unless he can convince the wife to go against Logan.
Right.
His ex, I think she's still his wife, but like,
but now he's fucking around with that assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
That they have so coyfully have shown us without ever showing us, but it's obvious that she has more influence on him than anybody else.
Is there any part of you that feels
as well? What's her name? he fucked her as well, right? What's the actress's name? The pianist woman.
Did he fuck her? I don't remember who the actress.
You know who I'm talking about, like from Batman v Superman, right? That chick.
Yeah.
But she's an amazing actress, but anyway.
Yeah, but it was so small. I don't know.
I think he fucked her as well. That's why the wife was pissed with him, right?
Yeah.
His wife
I mean, but his wife was pissed with him because he's been full of infidelity the entire time they've been together too. I mean, it's not like this is an isolated incident. I think he's consistently done this.
So that might be where this show is going. When you think about it, Kendall, that scandal, Kendall gets a coma, comes back in the next season, realizes, these people are onto him about this boy's death. And then it's just about the implication of the father, and then you implicate the father in the cover up, and then the wife comes through to defend him in the end, because at first it looks like Logan. At first it feels like Logan's winning, and then the wife comes in and but then the wife can't really implicate Logan either, because she'd be implicated.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, did you see the other thing? Did you see the other facet though? The other facet is that when he was contemplating taking the buyout, he said, "What am I supposed to do after this?" Even all that money, he came up with his ideas, but he realizes even if he takes that buyout and has all his money, he could do whatever he wants. He doesn't know what he wants to do. That life is meaningless. It's nothing. Without this fight with his father, fight to approval and fight to be in control. Without it, he has nothing.
What do you think of this line, Phil Militis, where he said, "I'm better than you"?
Okay, this is exactly where I was about to go with this. I think he is a weaker person than Logan. I also think he's a slightly more moral person, still a piece of shit. He's had this false illusion of like, I'm better than you. But to become what he needs to become, to be the person that runs the company, he kind of needs to fully become his father, and in some ways, right? Maybe he can make some improvements on some ethical stuff, but he knows he needs to be a shark. He needs to be a monster. And I think right now he's been going through this whole thing, this whole season of like, oh, I'm woke and I care about these women that were abused. But the whole thing has been a lie. And I think he's going to come out of all of this and finally realize.
I still don't understand why people are Team Kendall. Everyone's Team Kendall, and I'm like, he's a complete.
But this is where I think it's going, bro. This is where I think it's going. The resurrection isn't necessarily like, oh, I'm the Jesus. It's more like, oh, I'm the devil. I'm the better devil. Like, I did kill someone, and I was a drug addict, and I have been all these things, and I learned a lot of this stuff about business and being a shark from you, and now I'm going to take everything you taught me, and I'm going to fully embrace the monster inside of myself, and I'm going to destroy you. And I think if you look at it, he and Tom have had this mirrored arc, if you really look at it, where Tom is constantly getting kicked by Shiv, and every time you think Tom's getting a win, he's getting an L, right? It's very similar with Kendall. I think somehow those two.
But Tom doesn't care. What when
everyone has their breaking point, though.
He played it off as like, oh yeah, it was just a role play thing. But when she said, "I don't love you, and yet you love me, and you will still do anything to stay with me,"
yeah, that was some sick shit.
and he gave into it because he knows that he's a beta, and he knows that he's going to beta. No matter what she does, it's more loss for him losing her than her losing him. And he will always stay there. He will not, no matter how much she kicks him.
I think he's gone. I think he's getting there. He
just wants reassurance.
Right.
He's gonna little words of reassurance.
She's gonna push him over the edge. I think he's gonna.
And as far as
there's gonna be a real conflict between them.
This is something I could see Logan saying, and I believe it. Why I don't think he's gonna come back harder. Once a bitch, always a bitch. He's not going to change. He does not have that in him. No matter what, facades he puts up, what thing, champion causes he tries to champion to say, I'm this now, I'm that now. What he is at his core is weak, and he will always be weak. You cannot turn a man at that age who's weak his whole life suddenly to be strong. It just won't happen.
I mean, I've got to shout out that scene. Wow, there were so many great scenes in the last episode, but like the one between Logan and Kendall, and obviously the ones between Tom and Shiv were just electric this week and brutal. And I again, Brian Cox, man, like he's just, it's funny because he seems like a secondary character in this season, whereas he was like really the main character in the first seasons. It's much more focused on the siblings now. But when he turns it on, I mean, he's just absolutely outrageously fucking good at what he does. And again, like in the first season, like the first episode, you hate these guys. Somehow the show humanizes them. This season, it's shown why they're monsters again. And that's what I love about it. It's like I was almost, deceived or seduced into, rooting for this family, forgetting what they really are, and then suddenly, especially with that presidential thing, that episode where they were picking presidents, essentially, you realize exactly what the kind of monsters you're dealing with again. And it's like, fuck, I've been rooting for these people a little bit, it's really, really well done in that sense. I don't know what you see
I don't really, I mean, I see spoiled, rotten child, but I don't see monstrosity in Connor. I think he's just spoiled.
Yeah, sure. But
he's just spoiled and entitled.
Libertarian asshole, right? Like, oh,
yeah, but I mean, but he's not even like
pay taxes.
Yeah, but he's not even like super right wing or anything like that. He has a lot of.
He is. He's totally super right wing. He's a libertarian. He believes completely just like,
yeah,
but he did say that one time. He said that thing about sucking from the teat of George Soros and the Clintons. So he seems pretty right.
Yeah, you get what I mean. He's okay. He's a total fiscal conservative right wing. He's not the like crazy QAnon.
He's not alt right. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's just at he's a Reagan conservative. He's that old, that fiscal conservative Reagan kind of conservative. That's.
But I don't think it's that even like it's not even really intellectual thought out. It's just pure self-interest. It's just like, I'm rich. I'm just gonna do it for my tribe.
Oh yeah. He doesn't think about
like he doesn't think beyond that, right? And then he's tried to somehow make that into some spurious kind of philosophy based on libertarian ideas.
I had one thought about Kendall I wanted to get out because I know we're gonna jump to something else, but I was just thinking, like, it seems like the whole series, his arc, his thing has been like, I'm searching for love, whether it was with his father or it was with Naomi or the other girlfriend he had that he was like, I got to get rid of you because you're not good enough for my dad, or with his ex-wife or his children or his family. He would seem like the one that most wanted to have a relationship with his siblings. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's at the point now where I could see if he does survive this, he's like, okay, there is no love. And that's what I was missing before. And I gave too much credit to my love for my father that I could come at him and, like we could work out some kind of deal, or that I could come out on top by being the better man. But there is no love and there's no morals. The only thing there is what my father's always been saying all along, like a fight for a knife in the mud. I could see that moment clicking in him, dude.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I love that line. It's life is just a fight for a knife in the mud. It's pure Logan, and yeah.
Oh yeah, that was completely right there. It's like you fight to survive. That's it. There's no rules.
So I was gonna do something which was just rank the season 3 episodes.
Yeah, there's no way I can do this. I cannot. I do not remember each and every episode to rank them.
I could remind you a little bit, but like season 3. Where would you rank season 3 amongst the seasons so far? You think it's met up to season 2 so far?
I mean, for me, the whole Kendall campaign, constantly with him and all his parties and all this and that, I think it was a little too much. That got kind of boring after a while. It's like, we need this much of it. It's like we realize what a cringy, insecure person he is. We don't need it displayed constantly every single time so it's a little too much. So I mean, it's a little lower than season 2 for me, but it's ramping up. I mean, it's definitely ramping up. So
it's ramping up. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to do this pretty quickly, just to go over what's been happening in the season. But you're right, was the main focus in the beginning of the season, was like once again this little fucking twerp has fucking betrayed his family, all in his own self-interest, while trying to self-aggrandize as it being something more, like he's standing up for the little people or something like that. And it's very obvious that that's not really what it's about. It's really about his own ego. And again, I think Jeremy Strong has played it beautifully. But I hate the character, and I don't know why everyone loves him so much. It's a mystery to me why people, out of everyone, identify with Kendall so much. But he has struck a chord somehow with Succession fans. But yeah, that's basically what this season has been about. And you're right, it got a little bit, it outstayed its welcome a little bit. towards the middle of the season, but I think the last few episodes have been fucking amazing. So
can I say this? Does anyone else hate Greg as much as I do? I can't stand him. I want him off the show. I'm so sick of Greg.
Really?
He's definitely overrated. Like,
I'm so sick of Greg. He is so obnoxious. I thought he was just gonna be this funny little dumb character in the background every now and then, and they like this season propped him up so much. I'm tired of him.
He serves the least amount of purpose in this season than he's ever served, which is weird because he's higher up than he's ever been.
Yeah, it was compelling when the whole thing was his grandfather and in the first in the early seasons, but this season it's like okay, it's the shtick is old. I'm tired of it. Just go away.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna stick up. I don't think it's his fault. This season has really underserved him, and it's one of the reasons why I'd say this season 3 so far has not been as good as season 2. Because every character was there. It wasn't just this guy's part of the cast and he's a fan favorite, so we need to insert him into the show somehow. It was every single one of them served their purpose. They were integral to the show, and they needed to be there in season 1 and 2. Greg, quite frankly, you could take out all his scenes from this season, and it would make, I think, pretty much no difference to the season.
Right, like I don't think
that's Greg's fault.
They try to play him off as like, both sides need him because he can tank either side, and he has nothing. There's really nothing. It ended up with a fizzle. It's like, yeah, we don't care. There's nothing you really can do to hurt us. It was the whole back and forth with, does Kendall still like me? Does Logan still like me? Does Kendall still like me? Does Logan still like me? Was for nothing. It was pointless. It was dumb. There was no threat ever with Greg, other than Tom fucking with him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think. So I've decided, forget the episodes, breakdown. Let's actually do who deserves the Emmy, right? And ranking it from the top person right down to the bottom. So I'm going to say, starting from the bottom, as we've been talking about him, unfortunately, one of my favorite characters in past, I'm going to have to say least deserving of the Emmy out of the main cast is Greg the Egg. It's also become apparent, like, his stick is really, really funny when written well, but unfortunately, it seems like that's the only level this character has. I hope he can kind of change speed a bit and show that he has more acting chops and deserves to be here with the rest of this excellent cast. Because at the moment he's not demonstrating that. He's the odd one out when it comes to acting chops. His comedy chops, he's amazing when he's on form, but like acting wise, in general.
But is that the acting or the writing? Like, he's supposed to be this awkward dude. He's playing the part that they're handed to him. I don't think it's the acting that's the problem. I think the character's just garbage. It's just the characters don't need.
Well, I thought he was brilliant. In the first season, he was absolutely incredible. He was the man. Like, Greg the Egg was probably my second favorite character. Second season, similar situation. It's just this third season that it's kind of exposed him because he hasn't changed from those first 2 seasons, whereas everyone else has been able to kind of transform in various different ways, show different shades of themselves. What do you think about this? Where would you rank him, Lunga? Did you say last in the cast as well?
I mean, well, again, you're talking about acting here, not the character, right? We're talking about acting. No, I wouldn't put him. I have to look at IMDb to remember everyone's actors' names because I'm horrible with actors' names.
I'm talking about in terms of deserving the Emmy out of the main cast.
Yeah, no, Peter Friedman would be last.
Who's he?
Peter Friedman is the one who plays Frank Vernon.
I wasn't really necessarily counting him, but yeah, all right, fair enough.
You got him on there.
No, it's because
are we using the Okay, yellow's right. You need to stop using tier maker. If you put an icon down there, he's part of the list. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, we're not counting any of these guys. I mean,
out of the main cast, it's got to be Connor, right?
Okay, well, I need an icon of the people that are in this list. If you have people that aren't in the rankings, I don't know who to pick.
All right, so I'm gonna put everyone on top who's gonna be counted. Okay?
And what is it? 10? We're top 10, right? We're doing 10.
Yeah. And then we're doing also the guest stars as well this season. So forget about this woman, the wife at the end. It's these fine people, and then the guest stars, right? So you're saying you think Connor should. So let's finish off. Where do we rank Greg then? You're saying Greg.
Well, I always start at the bottom, so I needed to notice. So it's the first 10, not counting Kendall's wife, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you scroll down so I can see them, because I can't see them. So we got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10.
No, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including the guest stars, which we'll show the pictures of the guest stars who were on, who we're talking about. It's Justin Kirk. Who was the other two?
Adrian Brody and
Skarsgård and Skarsgård.
I love Adrian Brody. He was great.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, but we're going to use other people.
Yeah, Greg would be right there in number 9. He'd be second to last for me.
Second to last. Okay, so we're going second to last. I would put him last personally, because I think. So, do I take it that you mean Connor to be the last one then?
No, I like Connor.
Oh, okay. Who's last on the
Connor
list? In who deserves an Emmy?
I'm trying to figure out. Well, again, I'm not. I mean, if you're saying who deserves an Emmy, we're doing a list here from 1 to 10. I'm not understanding. Is it the top spot the person who gets the Emmy, or I mean?
Yeah. The top spot would be, and the Emmy goes to.
Emmy goes to right. Okay, so don't even mention Emmy until we get to the top spot, because it's irrelevant. We're starting at the bottom. We're saying who we think is the worst actor of this list, which is why it's confusing me, because you have more than 10 people on there.
I unfortunately I couldn't do anything about it. It's like
yeah. I mean, if Frank Vernon isn't on the list, then yeah, Greg goes at the bottom. Who's the old lady next down there?
I can add her as well. She should be on
Jerry.
There, she's actually
not Jerry. No. The old lady that's under Kendall now.
Oh, that's
she was
Nan Pierce.
Yeah, that's Natty Pierce. Yeah. She's not.
She was the other family, the rich family that Naomi's grandmother or whatever the hell.
So I'm adding Jerry to the list. I should have added Jerry. That was my fault. But like, she's the only one of the non-family that I'm really concerned with.
Right. I mean, I would literally say, Greg would be last for me, and then 9 would probably be Jerry, because I felt she was very one note.
Okay. So that would put Greg down to last. Then he's in last place. Do you agree then, Phil, that Jerry would come second to last?
No, I'd rather put Connor there. I don't think he's had much to do this season either, and I don't think he's done a bad job with the acting, just like Lunga was saying about Greg, but I mean, he's barely been in it. I mean, I think, what does he have, like,
the whole season is about him wanting to become president. He's been in it quite a bit.
He really hasn't had the dialogue like he had the last 2 seasons before, though. Yeah. Like, other than that episode where he was talking about, hey, could I be president? And they were in that room. I don't think he's had anything except for like little bit scenes.
I'll say this though for him, just to say, he kills it when he's given the dialogue and given the space to kind of play as an actor. He absolutely fucking murders it. He's really funny.
Do we got to use the old line? There's no small roles, only small actors.
Yeah, exactly. But Jerry is consistently good, but she's not like fucking great. You know what I mean? Like she's not. I'm not going to say she's a bad actress or bad in her role or anything like that. But
you just hate women.
She's not even given anything great to do. Like she's just solid in her role.
Yeah, she was better last season.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I don't know between the two of them. I would say I would put Jerry next and then Connor. Personally, I'd agree with you, Phil Militas. You said Jerry next, right?
No, I'd say Connor, but those are the bottom three, so I'm fine with that order. That's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, those are definitely the bottom three for this season.
Yeah. So Lunga, you agree?
See, I don't know. I don't want Connor down in the bottom three. I think he's better than it. I think what's her face again? I got to look up the name because I don't know. The one, what's her face? Scroll down. The what's the old man's daughter who's an invalid? No. The one under Kendall now.
Oh, under her. Kendall. She doesn't count, dude. Holly Hunter. She's not even in this season.
Wait, didn't she play what's her face's daughter? Not Shelly. What's the name? The invalid.
Sandy.
Yeah, no. She didn't play.
Well, maybe it's just hard for me to see with the pictures, and I can't.
Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry, that's Holly Hunter, and she was in the second season, so she doesn't count. Now we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Other than the guest stars, so when we get to the guest stars, we'll have to like reorder things a little bit. But we're just dealing with the family basically. So the one from Roman to Kendall, right? That's who we have.
Okay,
left.
You said there's only 5 more, but there's 10 spots. That's only 8.
Yeah, because we've got the guest stars.
Your rankings are very confusing, nerd man. You can't tell me we get to pick 8 people in a ranking of 10. It doesn't make sense.
There's guest stars. I keep telling you there's guest stars.
No. Man. It doesn't matter. We're picking who gets the Emmy of all the actors. It doesn't matter if they're a guest or not.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's 3 more that we're going to choose from because they had big roles in the season 3. So the guest stars had big roles in season 3, and the main family had big roles in season 3.
Yeah, but what Lunga is saying is that if there's only 8,
I didn't choose these.
I know he's saying if you're going to do it this way, then move these 3 up 2 spots so that it evens out with the amount of people.
All right.
Even that doesn't make sense because I mean, there's best leading actor, there's best leading actress, there's supporting actors, there's which Emmy. What are we talking about here?
Who most deserves an Emmy? Who just most deserves an Emmy? Look, I'll show you how many there are.
Who most deserves an Emmy? You start with who least deserves one, but then you're limiting who I can pick.
And guest actor and main actor, it's a totally different thing.
I'm just gonna show you. Look,
you can't put 2 different rankings on the same rank sheet. You get what I'm saying? You can't make 2 different categories on the same rank. Like these, those are guests. Those don't count right now until later. That doesn't. You
have to rank the guest actors separately.
Yeah.
So these
like you can do a ranking of the main actors and do a ranking of the guest actors, but you can't put them both in the same one and say you only can pick these for now and then pick the rest. It's confusing. I'm sorry. It is.
I'm gonna try and sort this out.
You gotta understand. I do a weekly show called What the Rank, and I create my tier list, and I've done tiers with 20.
I don't know how to create the create.
You click the button that says create. It's not hard.
Where does it say create?
Oh my god! You got to go back to the main page, buddy.
I can't create it on stream. Please.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying to create it now on stream. I'm just explaining for reference, buddy.
Rank tutorial.
Yeah,
just change the title.
People make trash rankings, and you can't just use them thinking that they work.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, basically. That when you choose the guest stars as well. Yeah. So there's 11 that we're going to choose from. I'm using other people to represent the guest stars. Yeah. So we'll show a picture of them. Like I'm
just going to say top. The Emmy goes to Brian Cox. There you go. That's who the Emmy goes to. Okay, Brian Cox. Okay, the Emmy goes to Brian Cox.
I'm gonna say Kieran Culkin this season.
That's who the Emmy goes to. And
I'm
second would be Kieran Culkin.
I'm going Kieran Culkin. I'm sorry. You're right. The second should be Brian Cox, but the Emmy goes to fucking Kieran Culkin this season, bro. Talk about everything we've been saying about Greg, about like being one note, like Kieran was so good at what he did that you didn't even notice it. You just took it as like a gimmick, like he's just the fast talking smart ass or whatever. Sure. It wasn't until this season that you realize, no, this guy's got different levels. Not only does he kill it when it comes to a one-liner or anything like that, you give him a one-liner, he'll destroy it. But he's got the ability to step into a different level to show himself as a complete, unrepentant, disgusting monster as well.
You know, being the runner-up does not mean you're a bad actor, right?
Sorry?
You know, being runner-up doesn't mean you're a bad actor. He's spectacular.
No, I know.
Brian Cox steals every scene he is in. He steals every scene he is in. So if I gotta take even a great actor like Kieran Culkin, which I absolutely love, I think he's spectacular. Brian Cox steals every scene he's in. And that's why he goes. That's why the Emmy. That's why he gets the Emmy over Kieran Culkin.
He's designed to steal every scene he's in, even though yes, he kills it.
That's called skill, my man. That's called skill.
No, because think about it. There's never been a point where Kieran Culkin has just been able to just let loose at his father, because that's not the dynamic of the character. It's always Brian Cox lets loose at the other actor, basically, right? In fact, I'd say Kendall is the only one who's ever been in a situation where he could step up to his father or step up in terms of acting against Brian Cox, because it's not Brian Cox just shouting at them or like completely destroying them, verbally, with them not, being able to come back. Kendall's the only one who's able to come back because that's his character. So I don't think it's fair to say Brian Cox stole the scene from Shiv, because Shiv's designed
he can steal from
to
anyone.
Take it from him. I know.
Here's the thing.
I know he can.
I don't feel Kendall can take over a scene. I think McFadden takes over more scenes than Kieran Culkin does.
No, now you're talking crazy.
No, the way he does Tom.
You agree with that, elitist?
He fills the room. He fills the room. And remember, we're not talking about liking the character or anything like that. We're talking about the actor and how he portrays the role. He fills the room when he's doing it. When he goes off on his anxiety, rage tantrums, he fills the room. More
you're talking about Brian Cox right now.
No. I'm talking about. Well, no. What Brian Cox is the top. Period. The end. I'm saying you were comparing it as saying, oh no, he only steals the room because his character's supposed to do that, and I'm saying no, that's not necessarily true, because Matthew McFadden, even if he's in the same room, even when you see his anxiety, you could feel it. It's palpable. Even when Brian Cox is controlling the scene, with Kieran Culkin, I don't get that when he's in the same room. And even when Shiv goes up against Logan, even though she backs down, I feel that she's filling the room more than Kieran Culkin does.
I see what you're saying. Up until this season, I would have said Kieran Culkin is probably the weakest actor of all the siblings. I think he's got the best comedy timing. His comic timing is incredible. But I thought he was the weakest. This season has just shown me a completely different side to this character, dude. And his acting. He's out of control, and he's fucking brilliant.
He's still my runner-up.
A whole gear this season, to the point where he's taken over the season, bro.
He really has, because part of what Lunga is saying about him not filling the room, I think is part of his character. Like, he's this bendy, spineless, kind of like cowardly guy, right? That deflects with humor and stuff. But this season, you're seeing him transform into a monster. Like when he picked that candidate out for president and had that conversation with him, and when he pushed Kendall at the birthday party, and when he told Shiv, like, basically, fuck off, this is a me and dad thing, and just at every step of the way, the sexual harassment of Jerry, he's just been a monster up until that last scene in the last episode where you saw his dad break him back down.
Father just kill
it. Yeah, no, that's
when
that's
you see
all
the
that
father
you
once
said.
Again, kill it.
All that you said is absolutely true. That's why he's my runner-up, but he doesn't beat Brian Cox.
I mean, I can understand that.
I can understand that. I mean, it is between him and Brian Cox, I have to say.
Jeremy Strong is still doing a very good job, too.
Jeremy Strong is doing a very good job. And in that second episode, I thought Jeremy Strong is just on a whole different other acting plane to the rest of the siblings.
I just have a hard time with him because I think my dislike of the character is bleeding into my acceptance of his acting skills. I will say that. I will say that it's hard for me because it's hard for me to judge. Do I dislike it because I hate the character so much, or because the acting is bad?
Well, what you were saying about filling up a room, even though he's kind of a weak person in the show, that screen presence. Every time Kendall shows up, I'm like, okay, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Like when he's talking to them and he's like, this is what I'm going to do. I want you to join me. And he's telling Shiv, like, if you're not down with it, fuck off. If you guys aren't down with it, fuck off. Like, that was just a great scene.
I just see the same facial expression. It never changes. It's just always, because it's not just the lines and the delivery. It's also the emotive. And it's always the same. It doesn't change.
No, he does, man. When you can see him being confident, like one of the best scenes is where he just goes off when he's talking in the Senate hearing, and he just goes off at the fucking guy and like defending the company. You can see this guy has another gear. He's doing a tremendous job of doing this understated performance on purpose. You know, and you know, he's always he can't quite like get a full sentence out. He can't quite, you know, do any of that, and he does it so majestically. But then when he, you know, is at he feels like he's at the strongest point, or he feels that he's, you know, he explodes.
Like when he gutted Walter, when he walked in there and gutted Walter, and the guy spit in his face. He's like, "Is that all you got?" And he just fucking shut him down.
Yeah,
I thought exactly. I felt it dipped. I thought he was better in season 2.
Oh no, I'm not. It's true. I think in season 3 he has dipped, but in his episode 2, where he was trying to get his siblings to join him, that was excellent. That was a masterclass in acting, dude, by him.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah.
And he won the Emmy. He won the Emmy for season 2, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow who actually wins shit.
Yeah, he did win the Emmy for season 2. So look, I'm gonna say, so it's me and Film Elite is saying Kieran Culkin gets the Emmy, right?
Yeah.
So it's 2 versus 1.
Right.
My second place, I have to say, if we're talking about how the Emmys actually does this, i.e. by episode, I've got to say it's Kendall for the runner-up. That second episode, as I was saying, was an absolute masterclass in acting. And then, you know, he's been doing this kind of office-style, awkward kind of comedy acting during the rest of the season, which has been serviceable and good. But it's not...
give an Emmy from one episode.
You do. That's what they do.
No,
right?
You don't give an Emmy from one episode. Give an Emmy over their overall performance of the whole season, not just one. Unless they were just in one episode. But
they do. They make you submit for one episode.
They make you submit for one episode, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the Emmys.
Okay, well then maybe I don't understand how the Emmys work, and maybe that's why I don't watch the fucking Emmys.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's dumb. Well. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and there's no way I can vote on this based on one episode.
No, but to be fair to the Emmys, I think it's really for the whole season. They just say like, oh, you know, we'll put this episode forward to demonstrate how good they've been throughout the season. Do you see what I mean? Like, so it's whenever someone wins
yeah, you know what? In football, basketball, sports, you don't football, whatever you want. You don't give the MTV award based on one game.
For one game, yeah. No, it's
also it feel like Brian Cox was given a lot to work with the first few episodes, but once that investigation into the scandal and stuff kind of fizzled away, and he realized I'm in control, I've won. he's kind of just faded into the background a little bit.
You want to talk about master acting? How about when he was with the urinary tract infection and he went fucking schizo?
That was great.
True.
That was a masterclass in acting.
He hasn't really gotten angry in a while in this season. Like, that's what's missing.
He got angry with he's been all dude, he's done a really great job this season. It's just that they haven't given him as much to do. They focus much more on the siblings. But every scene he's in, Lunga's right, he steals it.
And in that episode, he got angry because when he snapped out of that urinary tract infection and shit was over his shoulder, he's like, "Fuck off!"
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
and when he was in the hotel at the beginning of the season and he was looking out and he's like, "We're gonna go full fucking beast, dude." That was tremendous. Tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, the scene on the beach where he loses his breath or whatever, like he's walking and whatever, and he loses his breath. But even before then, when he's sitting down going, he's a good boy, and you could see, like, you genuinely believe, like, he's actually trying to say that to Kendall. And it's only after that you realize he's just a piece of shit and he's been lying the whole time. And then you've got that scene where he tries to he lets his grandson be his fucking real
taste tester. Yes. If it's poisoned, your son is dying.
The guy is out of control, and he does it so well. That scene, life is like a fucking knife in the mud. I've got to agree with Lunga. I mean, you fuck with Brian Cox when it comes to the acting, but I just don't know he's had enough. That's
scene with Roman when the dick pic. That scene in that office with Roman was great.
Yeah. I just have Kendall by a hair, just by a nip of a hair, because that one episode, man, like in the second episode was just incredible, and I think it's the best acting I've seen throughout this season. Like, really.
I also have him by a hair because of that episode and the birthday one, because the emotional spiral in that episode where he's ends up collapsed in Naomi's lap, dude. Like, he's just a broken man at that point. He was so good in that episode.
Where is the Sarah Snook love? Because she'd be my
I was just about to say
she'd be my number 3.
I was just about to say, thank you, Lunga. You've been making some good points throughout this. This chick is not, how would I say this? She's not necessarily underserved, but I feel like she's potentially the best actress out of all of them. She's so good and subtle at what she does. It almost, breezes over you how fucking good she is. She's incredible in this role. She does. Right. She can do the smart lines, the back and forth comedy with Kieran. She has great chemistry with every single fucking person. She really deserves it.
And how she changes. She changes depending on who she's talking to.
Right.
She switches.
But go on.
Yeah, it was real quick. I'm saying she switches on who she's talking to, and you see, like, because they portrayed her as she's the liberal of the family, right? She's the bleeding heart, and you could see the way she's been acting it, that whole thing was a facade because she didn't want to be like her father,
right?
And I really think she latched onto that liberal facade because she wanted to be the antithesis to Logan.
Yeah, but her actions show that she's nothing like that.
Right, she's actually more like him than she wants to believe, and the way she switches those modes to trying to be that caring person, and she's convincing, like, she really cares about what happened to these, like Kendall. You could tell. I'm talking about not the acting, the character with Kendall. You could tell that the whole thing with the women, it was all just he didn't give a shit. It was about this whole situation. You know what I mean? But with Siobhan, the way she portrayed her, she was convincing that, like, she's making Shiv look like she really cares about these people, but she doesn't, because she's so duplicitous and so easy at putting on different masks. And I think the actress portrayed that spectacularly.
Yeah,
and that's the second time now what she said to Jerry in the last episode, that she's been in a position as a woman to manipulate somebody that was sexually assaulted or abused and use that for her advantage and just be malicious.
I was just about to mention that. Like, that scene where she convinces that woman not to testify. Incredible. Absolutely impeccable. It's hard. If I was giving an overall Emmy for the
well, she would also be in a separate category because it's split between men and women. So
yeah,
it's true. If I was giving an overall, I'd have to say she'd be number one for all seasons. For 1, 2, and 3, she'd be number one for me.
Well, are you talking about compared to the
or
rest
maybe
of the cast,
two, or maybe
just
two?
best woman actor?
Kendall, then her. I guess I'd say Kendall,
because
then
in the
her.
Emmys, all her competition wouldn't be anyone from the show unless there's another woman on the show that got nominated.
True.
I wouldn't agree with that though, Nerd Man. She would be like number 3 or 4. I think Kendall and Jeremy Strong and Brian Cox are the two best.
Yeah. Sorry, I always forget about Brian Cox because he's just so amazing.
She'd be number 3.
She'd be number 3. Sorry,
for sure.
She'd be number 3.
Yeah, I'd have her number 3, and then we get to the Jeremy Strong.
Yeah,
4 for me.
But for season 3, these guys have killed it. The ones in the top 3 have kind of killed it, and then she hasn't. I feel like her episode is coming where she gets to explode. I'm hoping it's the next episode because she can. She can just.
Oh, she already saw that. You saw her rise up. What she did to Tom was her experiment. Can I be this person that I've tried not to be, even though I am? And Tom was her test subject.
Yeah, but I'm saying, Lunga, she hasn't had a moment in this season like the dinner table scene between Kendall and Logan. She hasn't had a moment like where Roman basically pushes his brother over. Like that whole fucking episode, he was just
gonna be the killing blow
from beginning to end. She hasn't had an episode like Jeremy Strong in the second episode. She hasn't had that moment where she's been the complete focus and just completely
but I think that's also going to become an issue of the character.
That's unfair to her.
Her character, if is trying to play the long game. She's trying to play the long game, and she's trying to put all the pieces on the board before she can do that checkmate. She's not going to come right out like that. So I think it's not a limitation of the actress at that point, or not having a moment like that. It's the way the character arc is going. The pieces aren't in place yet for her to attempt that.
Right. But that unfortunately puts her 4th in season 3.
I see. I hate saying blaming the character's arc on why she can't get an Emmy. That I can't agree with that.
What do you think?
No small actors, no small roles, only small actors.
Oh, she's a big actor.
I understand where Lunga's coming from. I also think you're right, though. Like, if we're really looking at it like how you're giving awards out, you kind of need that memorable moment. And she's been fantastic, but she hasn't had that moment. Last episode,
Tom for me did it.
Yeah, that last episode.
I'm sorry.
That was her best moment for sure. That was her best moment.
That was her best moment, but it doesn't.
And I think she is going to win the Emmy for female actress.
Best actress, yeah, I think she is as well. But she should have won it last season. That's the season she should have won it.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just incredible, though. Like from
she and Culkin to me were like okay the first season, and then she became great last season.
Yeah, she became great last season. And Culkin and her, out of all the comedy duos, Culkin and her are just great together.
Oh, their banter.
Love them together.
Their banter is good.
And like when you hear it like the second time, you realize how much she's keeping up with Culkin as well. I know it's obviously the writers are giving them the lines, but
but
the way she delivers the line,
they still have to deliver it.
Yeah, she delivers them beautifully. Yeah, unfortunate. I really love Shiv, and I am ultimately Team Shiv as well. When it comes,
can we talk about the little sly usage of the word? Well, I know Shiv is like a nickname for Siobhan. It's a shiv. It's what's used to kill someone.
That's true. Prison. I never thought of that. So she's probably. I hope she wins in the end. I hope she gets it because
it's that hidden weapon that hits you and you don't even see it coming.
She's an asshole like all the rest of them.
Oh, of course she is. Yeah,
somehow I like her.
She's a horrible wife. I mean, she's just a ridiculously bad wife. I mean,
she's the worst wife of all time. All right, so let's go on to Tom. Where do we rank Tom? He's been a nothing this season. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I kind of liked all the manic worrying about prison and trying to talk to his wife, and when he can't, he goes to the guy he can bully, which is Greg. I thought that's great, and it's almost like every episode that happened. He wanted his wife to feel to give him comfort him, and when he couldn't, he turned and then lashed out and became the alpha that he can't be in his relationship. And he did it against Greg, the guy, the one person in this whole cast that he can bully.
He's been doing that shtick. He's been doing that shtick since the beginning, and I like it.
Yeah, but it took a different. It took on a different. It
hasn't been as good this season between him and Greg.
The prison thing added a whole nother layer to it, and it's just wow.
Yeah, but it was for several episodes. It was like, I get it. I actually felt like Shiv. I was like, can you do something different? Because you're an amazing actor, and you and Greg have amazing chemistry. Can you just come up with something a little bit more? Like, he's had nothing. Like,
dude,
when they were just...
He went in there and table flipped Greg's desk. That was awesome.
No, that wasn't as good as the bottles. Come on, you feel me, Letus? You know what I'm talking about. That scene where he's just dashing bottles at...
yeah, when they're in the panic room.
Yeah.
I was... literally, I think I must have spit my juice out and just was laughing just hysterically at that moment, just for like, you know. And he had so many good ones last. Like he was like, what did he say? He said last season that he said one STD is the what did he say? Syphilis is the MySpace of STDs. Like, he's had no lines like that this season.
Yeah, his arc has kind of been Kendall-esque in the sense that he's just getting emasculated and beaten down constantly.
I disagree. The way because you see him as this emasculated, insecure guy when he's with Shiv, right? And he can't say the things he wants to her because he's scared that he's going to drive her away, right? If he's too forceful. And he's scared. Then he's like a light switch. When he goes to Greg, he is this in control, going to tell you what to do. The way he can switch that type of two different type of people back and forth like that in the same episode throughout the season, I think is great.
Oh, I agree with you. I just don't think they've had as much of that this season. That's all I'm saying. I totally agree. I fucking love Tom, dude.
No, me too. I thought he was...
I am rooting for him so badly. Every time I see Shiv stab him in the heart, I'm like, rise up and grab your ball sack, dude.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
No, I'm team Shiv on that. I'm
getting fucking sick of Shiv, dude.
No. See, I think you're taking it personally because you're like, I'd never let a woman treat me that way. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Coming from the lifestyle I do, where I see people who are in charge like me, and I see men who aren't. Who prefer that kind of submissive kind of stance. He's the kind of guy that deserves this kind of relationship. I'm sorry. He's the kind of guy who deserves this kind of relationship.
No,
he is.
Come on, man. You're going too far.
No,
he's a good boy.
The whole thing when he's picking on Greg about how you're hitting above your league and you're trying to, they explained it. He's talking about himself because he knows he does not deserve Shiv, and he's saying, "Oh, they look at you and like, oh, why is he with her? Because that's what he gets. Why is he with her? With Shiv?
No, exactly. And that's why I'm like, I don't understand why you feel sorry for him, Elitist. He could go and marry a nice girl who, you know, will treat him right.
He couldn't marry anybody that does not have power. Like, he needs someone who will tell him what to do.
Like, powerful, you know, daddy's princess fucking girl. And he's getting it. He's getting it left, right, and center from her. You know,
he will not be happy if he's in control. You don't know.
She offered him a threesome. How many girls do that for their guys?
You guys, listen. No, you don't understand power dynamics in these kind of relationships. You don't. And maybe it's because I'm in this kind of relationship. I understand the power dynamics, and I understand them in my relationship and in other people that I know in their relationships. This man is submissive. He would not be happy in a relationship with any woman who he is in control. He needs a wife who is in control. The problem is here, he's with a wife who's in control and is a monster at the same time. That's the issue. But anyone, if he would leave Shiv, he wouldn't marry some docile little girl who does everything he says. He needs that woman to tell him what to do.
He definitely
That's the dynamic that he's in.
He definitely leans more to the beta side. He's not
the beta, but he's in love with
but at the same time, there's a lot of things that he didn't know about her that he found out after they got married that she kind of just dumped on him. And more and more,
I wouldn't even really call it beta. It's more submissive, because beta means he'd be that way with other men, and depending on the man, he's not. It's with women that he cowers.
No, but I've got to take exception to that, Alita. She told him exactly who she was from the jump, dude.
And he's like I'm in.
She didn't even tell him that she didn't even tell him that she wanted an open relationship until their fucking wedding night. So don't pull that shit.
And he accepted it. And she told him, I don't love you, but you love me. And in his eyes, you knew that he felt this is real. And
my boy Tom is gonna come back from the grave.
Nah. You see,
he's gonna get that self-respect.
Nah, you think
back from nothing.
Yeah, I know where this is coming from. I know where this is coming from.
He's a
you gotta accept that there are men that enjoy being in this position.
Oh, 100%. I don't see that enjoyment in his eyes, though. I see.
I do.
He is genuinely heartbroken when she does those things to him.
Because she's a monster.
Good for him. Good for fucking it. He is a vain little maggot who's fucking sucking up to the teat of power.
No one is saying any of these people are good people.
Fucking handle it. That's
None of them are good people.
But again, you're still missing the point. It's not that she puts him down, it's that she puts him down and he doesn't get at least a moment of feeling loved. That's the problem. He'd be fine in this kind of relationship, being humiliated, as long as there's moments where he feels loved, because he knows that it's role play. It's part of this. It's part of our relationship. She's a monster. Okay, that's the issue, that he's being abused at this point. It's no longer a game. It's no longer our power dynamic. He's being abused, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Says, I love you, but I don't love you.
I think they established early on, like she was in control of the relationship. Like she was the one that took charge and made decisions. But it goes, like you're saying, Lung, it goes further than that. And I do think that that's going to come to a head, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's going to suddenly, whether he stays with her or goes with someone else, he's going to suddenly be the kind of guy that's like, this is what we're doing. I'm going out. I'm the breadwinner, and you're going to stay home. And these are the power dynamics. But he's not going to. He has a limit to what he's going to accept.
He needs a consensual humiliation relationship that has aftercare. Is what he needs. He does not get the aftercare. Okay, that's a word, and it's a real thing. He doesn't get the aftercare.
Also wants to be the man. He also wants to be the, and let me make this clear. This guy is doing a bang-up job in the role. He just has been underserved this season because there were bigger fish to fry this season.
Right.
And
you can't highlight everyone.
They work a way to like meaningfully put him in, but he is an exceptional actor, and probably maybe after Brian Cox, it's hard to say. I mean, they're so good, the main cast, at what they do, but if I'm talking about as just a well-rounded actor, I think he might be second best after Brian Cox. That's a hot take, but
I'm not gonna go that far. But he's fantastic.
Well, I'm not gonna go that far. He's great. Yeah,
you wouldn't go that far.
No, I think
I'm
Jeremy
not gonna
Strong.
place him as a Brian Cox understudy. No, he's not that great.
Oh no! I'm not saying he's on the level.
I think Jeremy Strong is the second best actor on the series.
I can lean towards that.
Jeremy Strong, the Snook is pretty good as well.
Are we talking all of them or just the men? I mean,
we're talking all of them.
This is the part that confuses me. Okay, if we're talking about all of them, then Snook. It's hard because we still got Kieran up there.
She gets extra credit too because she gets extra credit because she's British. So
I think Kieran is a great comedy actor who also has some good acting chips as well, but
he has a dark edge to him.
As a well-rounded actor, I'm not sure.
Because he plays these kind of roles and everything. He's that witty, sarcastic, and everything. Every role
slightly
he
does, emo. He's got that emo edge to him.
Right. He does play that in every role he's in.
and he's fantastic at it. And he's shown now, like in this show, that he's got something else to give as well. But I don't know if he can do as much different things as the rest of the cast. That's what I'm saying.
If you want to see that range, they need to have Roman have a moment where he becomes vulnerable, a moment where he breaks down, a moment where he, where
I think that's coming.
A moment where where the humor to cover his insecurities goes away. You know what I mean? That's where we can see the range.
I think that's coming too after what just happened the last episode.
Yeah.
All that sexual weirdness, that he's had going on.
Oh my God.
I like how he tried to young-splain it away to his dad. He's like, Dad, everyone does it now.
Dude, that was a great line when he said, I'm not a radical feminist, but I don't think we should fire her.
Yeah.
For sending her pictures of my dick.
But
that was great.
My favorite line of his ever was when he was like fucking this woman, and he was like, he wanted her to play dead. And he goes like, "You're enjoying it." That whole scene with him was just fucking insane.
Cringy.
It was cringy as shit, and you're just like, what is going on with this?
One of the best lines for me is when they were on a plane. What did Shiv? She called it a Play-Doh dick or something. I mean, she said something about this because she keeps attacking the fact that he can't get it up and have sex. I forgot the line, but it was fucking spectacular. She's like Play-Doh dick or something.
She is a ruthless bitch, dude.
Yeah.
No, man. Well, I think their best scene, apart from when they fought with each other, which was fantastic, but it was just the first episode. He was like, what are you wearing? Date rape by Cal? She was like, what are you wearing? Date rape by Calvin Klein? And he's like, you wish. She's like, what? It's fucking brilliant.
I'm going to put you in the office next to me. You're going to be my sexy secretary.
Oh, that was cold as fuck. That was cold as fuck. Brilliantly done by both of them as well. Yeah, it's hard to choose. Honestly, it's quite...
Can we just say real quick, Roman is so fucked, dude. How is he going to climb out of this?
He would have to do something spectacular. He would have to bring in Mattson like completely cowed, which is not going to happen. Mattson was playing him the entire fucking time like a fiddle.
Because Shiv and Jerry have this over him now. His father has this over him. Like he's fucked, dude.
Oh no, yeah, and all the dick jokes from Shiv are going to be even worse now. They're going to be hit him even harder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if fucking Jeremy's dead or not. But honestly,
I don't think.
I'm
no way.
Say this: if he's dead, I'm not watching the show anymore.
I feel the same way. It's going to be difficult.
You can't.
Yeah, I mean, not for me. I'd have to see it. See what happens,
Lunga wants it to happen.
I mean, I look at it this way. Like, did you guys watch Vikings?
No, I never saw that.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I can't even make it the example then. But the guy who played, who was the main character who played Ragnar, he was in the first season, and historically Ragnar dies. That's what happens, and his sons take over. And the show did lose something when he was gone, but he was like the main guy. The show circled around him, so that it'd be like Brian Cox dying. But I honestly could see that happening with the health problems that we saw. I could see Logan dying next season, and then there's suddenly this vacuum.
I think the only problem I'd have with him dying is that it seems like the only reason they would do it is not to serve the story, but because of what Nerdman was saying. Either shock value or that the actor
him dying almost seems like the inevitable destination that Kendall was going to go. It feels natural to me.
Maybe in the last season, but in the fucking slap bang, it just is.
It's such a whimper.
Truly,
it's such a whimper.
Succession is pretty much just taken off, if anything, and it's probably not even taken off yet. Really, I mean, it's starting to get into the water cooler talk kind of,
How about if he goes into a coma and he comes out kind of a vegetable?
Yeah, that would be trash as well. I mean, you can't
not like a non-speaking paraplegic vegetable, but like just a lowered intellect, just not,
No.
There.
He has to be there trying.
If you love him as an actor, he could kill that.
Well, yeah, he could kill that.
I think it makes sense that like something has to happen with him because he can't just keep getting beaten. I mean, he can't go any lower. And I understand if they killed him right now, why it might make sense in that sense, but it feels like a whimper. It feels like
I'd rather him be dead than what's the other option? You think he's going to rise up? That's not going to happen. I think if anything, if they don't kill him, he's going to become a freaking drug addict again, and that's even worse. It's like, we're seeing this again. It's like,
I think it's possible that he hits a moment where I feel like there's a possibility that what I said earlier, where he realizes, okay, love, emotions, all that shit I was searching for, which is partially probably connected to his drug addiction, right? Whether it's acceptance from my father, my siblings, finding their love, my ex-wife, finding love in these other women, my children. I can't trust anyone, my own mother. I can't trust a goddamn person in this world but myself. And cocaine isn't the answer. These people aren't the answer. I'm the fucking answer. And then he snaps out of it, dude. It's possible to have a rebirth.
But what if he builds his own company?
What they did at
streaming service or something?
He doesn't have the cachet right now to do that.
He could cash out and do that.
Logan's going to give him a dime. He said it was a joke. Logan ain't going to give him shit.
They always have an ace.
That was a joke. I'm not doing that.
They always have an ace in the hole, though, right? Because like I didn't see I don't know if you guys saw it coming, but in season 2, I didn't see the twist coming at the end. You know, there's definitely going to be something.
Ooh, how about this? Remember, Shiv was pissed because Roman and Logan were going behind her back to buy out Kendall, right? Which would have made them have more majority than her.
Mm-hmm.
How about she puts together her stuff or puts together investors and buys out Kendall? That would give her the cachet to do what you guys are looking to see her do, that massive move. I think
and there was that scene where she was obviously pissed off. Like she drew her moral line when she found out that they were like sending goons to intimidate his kids and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
She could have a moment of kindness towards her brother and also buy him out, which would serve two purposes. It would be self-serving and help him.
Right, exactly. So there's things that can be done, and then he starts his own company. You know that's maybe slightly in conflict.
Steals Mattinson from him.
Steals Madsen.
I was about to say, what if he just steals Mattinson from under them and says, "Let's partner up 50-50."
Yeah.
Right. You know, so I can see there's avenues they can go that would be just. You can't lose him. I know it seems like his arc has almost come to an end in a way, so it does make sense to him to die. But we're talking about season 3, a show that is just becoming a hit show, and you want to lose one of the best fucking characters.
Right. Now that I'm thinking about it, I usually when they kill a character, they don't do a cliffhanger like that. It reminds me of the Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. You know, it's like he's not dead. It's because they ended it with him.
And that's why I said resurrection, Lunga, because it's similar to that. I think.
No. I mean, you've changed my mind a little bit. I think I think I can see the road.
And also, you have to think too, real quick. Season 1, it starts off with him thinking he's going to succeed him. When he doesn't, he betrays him, goes up against him. Season 2. He's kind of subservient to him, but then at the end, he betrays him again. He's going up against him. It's always him going up against him.
That was his strongest moment at the end of season 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was great, dude. I loved that. Fucking ending was so good. And seeing Brian Cox smile, there's something there, too. Like, I think he knows that
he wants him to be more like him, but he can never go
I don't think
that
he
next
was proud
step.
of him.
He can never go that next level to do it.
I don't think he was proud of him. I thought that was bullshit when people were saying he was smiling because he was proud of him.
I think he was trying to do the tough love thing.
Dude, he literally told him, "You're not a killer," and then he became a killer.
If he's pushing him, I think in Logan's mind, I think he thinks that the more he pushes him away, the more he does this, that he will turn him into the man he thinks he can be.
That's exactly.
And every time he does it, he disappoints him. He gets all moody. He gets all emotional. He wants this, show me you love me. And he's like, that's not what I want from you. I'm trying to make you make you a killer. I'm trying to make you a killer to do this, and you keep dropping the ball and want to come back and want daddy to
I
hug you.
I thought that was the whole central thing going on this whole time.
Yeah.
I agree with
Lunga.
Lunga.
Logan way too much credit. He is a villain of the highest order.
I think
he doesn't give. I'll be surprised if he even really cares about his children that much.
No, he doesn't care about his children.
No, he cares about his company. He cares about the legacy and his company, and he's trying to see which one of his children have it in him. And I think he thinks, if you take all this other bullshit that he hates about Kendall out of it, he thinks purely that Kendall is the perfect replacement for him if he could get his killer instinct. And everything he's doing is to force him to get this killer instinct.
I totally agree with that. I thought that the whole time. It's so obvious. When he says you're my number one boy, dude, there's some authenticity to that. Dude.
He's fooling you as well.
No.
He's a
even Shiv. He makes Shiv keep thinking that she's important, but he always demeans her. Even though it's a cute thing, it's demeaning every time he calls her Pinky.
Right.
It's meant to say you're not up there. You're Pinky.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. He's deceiving. He's playing all of these guys like, oh, you're my number one. No, you're my number one. No, really, you're my number. Really, when it comes down to it, I think you're the best one. He's doing it on purpose. He's playing them against his instinct.
Yeah, to see which cream rises to the top.
That life is a fight. No, he thinks he's the cream that will always rise to the top.
But he knows he's going to die. Someone's got to take over. Nerdman, someone's got to take over.
I don't think he even knows he's going to die. That's the thing.
He's not that much of a megalomaniac.
You're so Team Logan that you can't see the reality of what the show is about, dude. It's always been about him trying to create the second version of himself, because he doesn't care about his family. He cares about the company and his legacy, and the only person that can do it is a replica of him in his mind.
Because Shiv immediately, I'm telling you, Shiv immediately loses points in his eyes because she's a woman. Immediately, right off the bat. Immediately, no matter how good she is, no matter what she does, no matter if she's better than all her brothers, the fact that she's a woman, she loses a point, and he'll always favor the boys over her as far as running the company. Then you look at what we have left, the boys. Connor's in his own world. He knows Connor is not going to run the company, period, the end. He's that's it. So that's left with Kendall and Roman, okay? Roman, listen, he displayed it. When he was asking Roman, what kind of guy is Mattson? Is he a fruitcake? Because he goes, I can handle people who are maneuvering, but I can't handle people who are just
I can't knock out a clown. Brilliant.
Right. He was talking about Roman. And the dick pic proved it. You're a clown.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's how he sees him.
No.
Kendall? Lunga is so on the nose, dude. He's got this. This is exactly it.
Logan's done shit like that with women before. Logan knows all that bullshit. Look at how he talks about women.
But it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness for Logan though. In the same way, it's not. It's like he's a sadist and he's a misogynist and stuff. But he's not like a sick puppy.
No.
That's what Roman.
You think he's doing all this as just a sadistic way to play with his kids instead of no, he is grooming. No, he's grooming, he is grooming by a trial by fire. He realizes his time is short, and he realizes he only has so much time. He's old. He's dying. What the fuck are you talking about?
And you know what the other thing, Lunga, the other thing is that I think
he doesn't want to accept he's dying. He doesn't want to.
But he knows he has to. He's not stupid, nerd. You think he's that delusional?
I think he's that delusional, bro.
No. Dude. Not only does he want someone
to his head, and he thinks he's fucking like a god.
No,
he's disappointed because none of his children have lived up to what he wants. So he's purposely doing this, pushing to create what he needs before he's gone.
Lunga, his children have lived up to it. There's nothing they could
do
to convince him. Exactly. There is nothing they could do to convince him that they're good enough.
Obvious.
Nothing.
Yes, there is. They have to take the company from him, then they will deserve it.
Yeah, that's the whole exactly. Point. They have to take the company from him, then they'll deserve it. But what does that say? that he
the
is
knife
not
in the mud
willing
line.
ever
The knife in the mud, dude.
He's not ever willing to give up power himself.
He wants his
own
3
volition.
children to fight for that
never
knife
do
in the
that.
mud.
Right, exactly.
Sure. But like again, he will never secede power to his children.
No,
Never.
it has to be by force. It has to be by force.
It has to be by force, and he will hate the kid who fucking
No,
does it to him.
he won't. He'll be proud of them.
He will be proud of them.
It's like the rule of 2. It's like the Sith Lord knowing that. Sorry, it's a rule of 2. Have you ever read Dark Plagueis?
No, I haven't. Sorry, man.
I haven't, but I'm familiar with that story though.
In the very beginning, the very first chapter, it talks about Plagueis with Tenebris and how he devises the scheme to kill Tenebris, and it was supposed to look like an accident, and he was dying, and he was like, "Oh, I'll get help," and he's like, and Tenebris, obviously didn't believe him. He's like, "No, you're trying to kill me," and the whole point of his was he's like, when he realized that his plan worked, Tenebris is like, now you're the master. I'm telling you, it's a rule of 2. It's the Sith.
I 100% agree with you, Lunga, and I've been watching this show with my brother's girlfriend. She's very into it, and we've been having the same discussion, dude. It's so obvious, Nerdband. You're blinded by your love for this guy.
Yeah. I
love Logan's character. I do, but
I don't know what you think I'm saying, because I'm saying
you are saying that this man is
one of the greatest TV villains of all time.
Right. But here's the thing. But you're turning him into a comic villain. You're turning him into the Joker. Okay, who wants the world to burn. That he doesn't.
He's always
care.
had a plan, dude.
He has a plan. He is conniving. He's 20 moves ahead. Someone who's 20 moves ahead, Nerdman, isn't going to just say, "Fuck what the future of my company. I'm just going to try to destroy my children."
Even when he breaks Kendall down.
No.
When he breaks Kendall down. When he breaks Kendall down
to those thing for his company, he's the only one who can.
Right now. But when he's breaking these people down, he's saying you're either going to fall apart and be a lost dog, or you're going to turn into the thing I need you to be to take this company from me.
And it's still a monster. Wait, but Nerdman, you can understand it's still a monster. He's not doing this because he cares about his kids, and he's caring about his company and the legacy it's going to leave after he's gone. He doesn't want to see his entire life's work fall apart because not one of his children can be him. Do you understand?
Do you think he's super proud of he's an ego?
Has nothing to do with being proud. Has nothing to do with being proud
of his work. I mean, what is he doing? He's peddling fucking.
Dude,
legacy.
What did he just say last episode? Last episode,
hates him.
Everyone
on the planet hates him.
Last episode, he said, "I'm a bit of spice." He said, "I'm a revolutionary. I'm a revolutionary."
People of power like him, you got to understand something. People of power from him think about leaving a lasting legacy. Not, remember Logan Roy? He was.
But now you're ascribing what other people think. I'm talking about.
I'm prescribing what this is an allegory of. Is of people in power, is of a Rupert Murdoch, is of these people with generational wealth, of people that when you make that much money, it's not even about the money anymore. It's about the game, and it's about controlling things and what you created living on after you're gone. And if it dies after he's gone because his kids can't be like him, to him he failed. It is important to him.
Maybe one day, look, Lunga, I get what you're saying. Maybe one day when Logan finally, the doctor levels with him or something and just says, "Dude, this is it."
Do you not see the frailness of this man's health?
You've got 2 years or something like that, or you've got a month to live, or
Elitist,
a year.
He is blind to this man's health.
Listen to what I'm saying here. When a doctor levels with him, then maybe he will have that insight. Like, actually, look.
You mean the doctors that gave him a pharmacy shelf of drugs because he's so old? And he's
barely alive as it is, dude. He's
still
taking experimental
10, 20 years. He still thinks he can live for 10, 20 years.
His aide, forgetting to remind him, almost killed him. Do you understand?
Right, I get that, but he still is under the delusion. He loves the game.
That's where you lose me. That's where you lose me and the argument.
Look,
when this man thinks he's going to live forever.
Wait. Let me finish this. He loves how he got to the top. He loves the game. He loves, and these young little whippersnappers trying to take it from him. These spoiled kids of his. Right, that who haven't had to live the hard life that he had, the grind that he had to get to the top.
Okay,
he doesn't think any of them are fucking worthy.
Now I gotta take you to school. Now I gotta take you to school because we gotta look at the whole season. We gotta look at the whole series. Okay, we gotta take you to school. Yeah. When the show started, him in control, everything's fine, right? Then he has that near-death experience, right? He has a heart attack. They think it's done. He's not going to be able to take over. Who's going to take over? And then when he realizes he has that, I almost died. I don't have, when someone has that kind of a human being, I don't care how megalomaniac they are. This is not science fiction here. This man does not believe he's going to live forever. He knows he's human. Okay. Let's throw that out the window, please. Stop thinking he's so delusional. This is super hyper intelligent man is so delusional that he doesn't know he's going to die soon. Stop. Throw that out the window because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
He's going to die soon.
What he knows is he almost died. He almost died. He knew that he almost died. That now going forward, he only has so many days left. And he realized that if he would have died at that moment in season 1, the company would be in shambles. So now he made his.
He could have. All right, I'm going to let you finish.
Now he makes it his mission to mold one of these kids because he only has so much time left. And like the comment said, Farion said, the title of the show seems to make Lunga's point. He knows he only has so much time left to mold one of them.
And why start the show that way, right, Lunga? Why start the first couple of episodes with him having that stroke if that wasn't...
He had an epiphany. Shit, I only have so much time left. I need to groom one of these kids to take over.
Look, okay. Let's get this straight, so that we understand each other. I think it was what the fuck is his name? Robert De Niro said, when it comes to acting, actors are saying what they feel. They're saying, or an actor should never show what he feels. He should always be trying to hide what he feels, right? That's the best, in terms of a character, they hide what they're feeling even from themselves. I don't know that, I think Logan on some level does think what you're saying. Right, he thinks
it's his entire motivation. It's not on some level. It's his entire motivation, dude. I don't know how you're even missing this.
But I don't think his ego will accept the notion that any of his
outwardly, are worthy. Inwardly, it does. Outwardly, it doesn't. That's why he keeps saying, he makes it seem like I'm invulnerable. I am never gonna die.
Let me tell you why you're wrong, nerd man. I can tell you right now, one simple sentence, dude. Over and over in the show, you see his obsession with war, the knife in the mud thing, the way he was talking to Ewan, all the relics he has, everything, the way he looks at it. It's a number on a piece of paper and a fight in the mud. It's a war. So if you're going to take it, you have to go to war with me and defeat me old school Roman style. You have to kill the king to become the king.
Yes, I get that, but he doesn't believe any of them could kill him. That's the point.
And which is why his entire motivation is to mold them into the perfect soldier to do it.
Not trying to mold them
the rule of two. The master trains the apprentice to be able to eventually take him out.
Look at how he treated him when he's
tough love.
He fucking tough love bullshit. He fucking nearly fed his grandson.
No, he knew that wasn't a point.
That was to prove a point to Kendall. No. You need to be like this. You see your son? Look what I just did. That's what you need to be.
That's just power play. He knew it wasn't poison.
He believed maybe it could be poison.
No. This is you are so confused on this man's psychology. This is a corporate raider. This is someone that's all about power and doing petty things just to show the power you have. That's everything he has done. The pettiest shit. They've mentioned it, how he will do this petty shit just to exert his power over someone. That he did not believe it was really poison. He knows Kendall. The whole point of him saying you don't have the killer instinct is you don't have the balls to poison me. But he did that just to prove it to him.
Total power poison.
Poisoning him would be a pussy move anyway. So it's something that he believed.
God, you are so off base with this man. You are so.
If he poisoned him, what would that do? He'd go to jail.
But you were the one saying he thought on some level.
You're looking at it too logically. You're looking at it too logically. You got to look at it from the point of someone that's doing a power.
Dude, you can't say that he's simultaneously delusional and totally in control. Like those are.
What I'm saying is he's delusional to the extent that you can be delusional and at the same time be masterful in a particular kind of area of manipulation or whatever. You can still be delusional about yourself and your own grandeur. That's perfectly plausible.
Nerdman. Do you believe that this man is like a chess player that can see 10, 20 moves ahead? Do you believe the Logan Roy is a man that can see 10, 20 moves ahead?
Actually, I don't believe he's that brilliant. I think he sees about
and that's where it goes. That's where it goes. And that's why we have this disconnect. Everything he has done is showing how much. Yeah. Yes, that's the whole point of the show.
I totally
that's the whole point of his company.
I don't think he's that brilliant.
And he's never lost. He always wins, and because he sees
his biggest skill. His biggest skill is that he understands people.
No, he doesn't.
And their motivations.
He doesn't. That's the whole fucking thing. He understands the worst element of people. That's it.
That's understanding people.
He doesn't have to understand the little people. We're talking about when he says he's a
sociopath. He's a
elitist.
Sociopath.
Yeah, of course he is. And sociopaths are brilliant. I'm sorry to tell you that, but sociopaths are brilliant.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Majority of them are. There's a fine line between insanity and genius. You ever heard the phrase? The fine line between genius and insanity?
Sociopaths aren't insane. Sociopaths aren't insane, first of all.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. A sociopath, the reason they may seem brilliant in business is because they're just willing to do what another person won't.
It's because they don't feel emotion and they work purely on the goals. They don't base their decisions on emotion. You just proved my point. You just proved my point. He's a sociopath. He doesn't base any of his decisions on emotions. All of his decisions are based on his company needs to survive, and the way he treats his children are to make sure his company survives after he is gone. Now, not emotion. He doesn't care how they feel. He doesn't care what hurts.
Even in the last episode, when their mother says, like, I never wanted children, but there was no way that was going to go with your father. Like, he wanted kids, not because he wanted something to love, so that he could pass someone on to the business to.
Yeah,
and if he's a sociopath, he's going to break one of them down and create Logan Jr.
Look,
because as we remember from his talking to his brother, he had that kind of childhood.
Let me go through this again. I get exactly what you're saying. Of course, he's going to want to have children so that they can take over the company.
Take this fucking tear off the screen. Put us up here full screen. Take this shit down.
Yeah, sure. In his mind, yes, there's a part of it that says, "Oh, I want children so that I can pass my company over to them." But the bigger part of him is that guy who fought from fucking Scotland, Dundee, to get all the way to the top. Who's manipulated, backstabbed, done everything possible to get to the top, been just that much more ruthless.
You're proving our point.
He has 3 kids.
You are proving our point. 3 kids who did not have that. No, you skipped the part. You skipped over their entire childhood. He fought from nothing, and his kids, he gave them everything, and they're soft because of that. So now he is trying to put them through this crucible to try to create himself in one of them.
He probably made them soft on an unconscious or
he knows he did.
Level. He probably made them soft so they wouldn't be able to take the company from him.
Oh my God! What's the end game? Here, let's
I don't think he did that on purpose. I'm saying
what's Logan's end game?
Because
answer the question. What is no? I don't. What is Logan's end game? What is Logan? What? No. Listen. Like that. Right. You've heard this. You said this. Sure. You said the same thing over and over again. But here's the real question. If you don't agree with what because we're stating what his end game is. You have not. You're just stating what he is. Then if that you believe all you're saying about him, what is his end game?
Okay, let me answer that question. Let me answer that question. He doesn't think that far ahead in terms of
like. You cannot be where he's at if you don't.
Give me a second to explain. In terms of the end game, he thinks that far ahead in terms of how can I keep my power. But in terms of his end game, I don't think he thinks that far ahead. I think he's just worried. He's constantly, because life being in a backstabbing company, in corporations with his brother and his family and all of that kind of thing, everyone trying to take what's his, right? Fighting in the mud for that knife. All he thinks about now, his every instinct in his body is, how can I keep this power? How can I stay on top? Who's trying to backstab me? How can I get rid of them? That's all he's playing at the moment. He's not thinking about the future of his company after he fucking dies too much.
You're wrong.
He doesn't.
I'm sorry. Care. You're completely. I'll tell you, and I'll tell you why.
I don't even think he.
Why, I'll tell you why you're different. I'll tell you why.
I don't think he contemplates his own mortality.
Your character assessment of this man is completely flawed from the beginning. When you said he doesn't think that far ahead, and I'll explain to you why. Because no one gets to that level of success. No one in the real world that reaches those heights does it by being short-sighted. They do it by seeing far ahead. They do it by planning and strategizing and seeing 10 moves ahead. All this, the Elon Musks, all these people in the world that do this, the Bill Gates, that's how they accomplish it. They don't accomplish it by living basically living power paycheck to power paycheck to survive. That's not how they do it.
I didn't say that.
You said that everything he does, while it's obviously someone in power, the only thing they fear is losing power. That's obvious, true. But that doesn't mean that is all he thinks about, because that's all he thinks about, he would have failed by now. He needs to look 10 steps ahead. He realizes sometimes he has to bend, even if he hates it, to do it. But he looks 10 moves ahead. The fact that you say he doesn't look that far ahead is a complete disservice to everything that he is and that anyone in his position needs to be to get there.
And also the fact that family, even though it's not an emotional thing for him, that it's been embedded into the writing of the show that he's only going to give it to someone from his blood.
Right.
Like, you can see that when they're in the therapy session, and you can see that when he's like talking to Kendall in the last episode, and he's like, whatever mistakes you've made, I cleaned up your messes. I did the best I could.
But why?
And I'm the asshole.
Yeah, exactly. But why did he do that? Why did he
try to make him what? Because he sees him as the only real viable candidate to be him.
Right.
If he can get past this, if he can get past this emotional weakness.
He doesn't. He's just telling them what they want to hear.
He wants Kendall to have Shiv's
when he needs them to survive. When he needs them to survive, he tells them what they want to hear. And then as soon as they get close to his throne, he drops them like a fucking bad habit. And that's what he's going to keep.
If he was the monster that you paint him to be, though, if he was the monster you paint him to be, he would have let Kendall rot in prison for that.
Mark my words, you two are going to come back at the end of this series. And
no.
Well, you probably
clip it, elitist. Clip this because he's so wrong. He's so wrong.
Never admit you are wrong.
If you were right, if you were right, he would have let Kendall rot in prison, bro.
Don't think.
Why did he not let Kendall rot in prison?
Why did he not? Because it would be bad for his image. It'd be bad for his fucking image, for his company's image. That's essentially why. Plus, he could use that.
The fact that he was a drug user and had problems was out there. They all knew that.
No. In the media. Killing someone is a different level, man, than being a drug
addicts. Okay. Yep, failure. He's a drug addict. That shit happens.
Yeah, but killing.
I disowned him. He is no longer part of my family. They're not. That's not going to sit on Logan's lap.
It's not going to affect the stock price.
In any case,
nope.
Also he could leverage the fact that he'd done that to get out of the bear hug that the company was in as well. So there was two reasons why he did that. Because he needs to survive. And that
but that control and that leverage you're talking about.
That wasn't a brilliant mastermind move. That was pure luck. He lucked out in that situation. He was going to get fucked. If Kendall didn't do what he did, if Kendall wasn't an idiot and fucking drove off the road with some kid, he would have been able to take over the company from his dad at that moment.
Sure.
It was pure fortune. That wasn't
everything in
him
corporate
being a
rating
mastermind.
involves a modicum of luck. That's built into the system. They all know that they need a little bit of luck.
I just think that him taking advantage of that situation, whether it was luck or not, he's showing those kids, like Lunga is saying, yeah, I'm manipulating you. It's like you keep looking at Shiv and you keep looking at even Roman and especially Kendall and Shiv, and you think, when are they going to realize that he's just the person that you're saying he is to some extent, where it's manipulation and leverage? When they finally realize the true extent of how that works, then they become the thing that he is. Then they become worthy. They fuck him out of the company, and they are the person that can keep it where it needs to be.
He doesn't want ass kissers. He doesn't want his kids who are constantly kissing his ass, trying to please him. He wants them to fuck him, even if now his instinct is to fight back. Of course, he's always going to fight. He's not going to roll over. He's going to fight. He's not going to roll over. But he wants them to come at him. Do not do this. You're not going to get my acceptance.
It's war,
the only acceptance you're going to get is if you beat me.
From the point of view of a father, I'm sensing that. I know you're a dad, and you're thinking from the point of view.
Oh, so I'm a shitty father.
I'm thinking from the point of view of war.
Yeah,
it's war. It's a fight for a knife in the mud. That's his entire philosophy.
I'm the only sociopath on this planet. So
I'm just saying, dude, his whole philosophy, man, is war.
I don't see it as a father, because a father doesn't treat their children that way.
Right,
That's the whole point. He doesn't look at them as children. He looks at them as commodities to mold, to take over. He doesn't look at them as children.
There's no sentiment, dude. It's not sentimental. It's purely war.
He sees them as that, but he also can't accept them as that. Can you see that?
Because they haven't earned it yet.
Right.
They have earned it.
No, in your mind, not in his. In your mind, not his. Because they do not have the killer instinct. The fact here, I'll tell you what. If every one of his children are constantly trying to get his acceptance, they are always failing him. He doesn't want them to try to get his acceptance.
And you can point it out. You can point it out in each of them.
He doesn't want them to try to give his acceptance, but he doesn't want them to try.
He looks at it as weakness. I didn't rely on anyone. I didn't try to make anyone's acceptance.
Nerdman, hold on. Shiv being a woman is obviously a downside in his eyes, but Shiv, they basically going against him with the liberal senator and not even being a part of the business, and then the fact that she's a woman, okay, all of those things, right? Then you have Roman with the dick pics and the weakness and all of that shit. Kendall with the drug addiction and the fuck ups. Every time that they've had a chance to usurp him, they've all done something that showed him weakness, or this is a fuck up, or you're not ready for this, or I've got leverage over you. They're going to have to ascend to that position. Right? You're acting like that he just always wants to put them in that position. Well, he wants to put them in that position so that they can rise up out of it and become the master. Lunga is so on the nose, dude. It's the Sith.
It's not.
It's the Sith, bro.
And the sad part is to understand, Film Elitist rarely agrees with me.
That's true. That's true.
He wants to be the master till his last fucking.
No, dude. You have to destroy the master to become the master.
You think he wants to retire?
Okay, he
wants to be destroyed.
They're not
watching this show. This motherfucker wants to retire. This motherfucker.
You completely missed what I said, didn't you? You did not hear what I said. He is not going to roll over. He is not going to make it easy. He is going to come. He's going to come at them with everything he has, because that's the only way he will accept them winning him, is if they beat him at his best. Do you understand? He is not going to roll over. Of course, he doesn't want them to beat him, but they need to beat him. There's a difference between wanting and needing, wrote Nerdman. Yeah, he doesn't want them. He doesn't want to lose his power, but he knows they need to do that to take over for him.
Right.
I agree with that sentiment, but I don't know that he actually desires to be beaten. That's the thing. I don't know that
if he didn't, he wouldn't have found enjoyment in what Kendall did to him.
I think he enjoys the challenge. I think he enjoys mixing it up with his children.
Well, yeah, sure. There's layers, but that doesn't mean it's the motivation.
Why is the one time we ever see him crack a modicum of a smile out of pride or enjoyment from his children? It's not at Shiv's wedding. It's not anything like that.
Master actor.
Now hold on a second. It was written into the show that way, that when he told him, "You're not a killer," and then in that moment he kind of was a killer, he was proud of him. That's what he wants.
He wasn't a killer, though. What did he do?
He was trying to destroy
him. It was a first step. You understand?
It was a first step.
And then what did he do with it? He dropped the fucking ball, and that's when he got disappointed.
Exactly. But in that moment, he had leverage over him. He was trying to destroy him unilaterally.
You saw from the next episode, Logan was desperate, absolutely fucking desperate.
Because like Lunga said, he's not going to roll over.
Right. He doesn't want to lose.
Quicksand. Then that's the whole point I'm making. If he could stay in charge till his last fucking breath, he's gonna fucking do that.
Because he has to do that for them to go through that to be
a succession plan.
Right.
It's not a succession plan. There's no plan to let them take over.
You have to take it from me.
Play them off each other. He wants to play them off each other until the very end.
You gotta understand. You have this disconnect.
Giving them a little carrot. Oh yeah, no. I see the potential in you, son.
It's manipulation to get to have the one that's going to do it take off the mantle. It's manipulation for that reason. And you seem to have a disconnect of not understanding that when I said the wants and the need, of course he's not going to give it up. Of course he's not saying, I want you to beat me. It's not what he's saying. What he's saying is the only way that I'm going to allow any of you to run this company is if you show me you can beat me and take me out.
The only thing he respects, he has no sentiment, he has no love, he has no, you said he's a sociopath. The only thing he understands and respects is war. That's it. The battle.
Right.
If you beat me, there will be some ounce of pride that I derive from that.
And that doesn't mean he gives up. Even if he gets beaten, he might still try to come back.
Right.
That's what he did with the heart attack.
But there will be part of him that's genuinely proud of that because he understands that.
I don't know that.
That's how he works.
But I don't know that he'll be proud.
No, he loves it. He has war relics all over his fucking mansion, dude. You saw him talking.
He's a fucking killer. He's
right.
The killer.
He loves war. But if he loses, he would respect that.
Is probably Roman, to be honest.
Dude, when
don't confuse respect with sentiment.
Right, exactly. When has he ever respected his children? But he respects war. He respects battle.
He respected Sandy for a long time because Sandy always would come at him.
Right, exactly. If you beat him, he will respect you.
I think you fucking hated Sandy. But
guys, he did hate him, but he respected. You can hate someone and still respect them. There's people at war, generals. They hate the other side, but they respect the other general because of their skill. Don't.
Yeah, but you don't respect.
You don't have to like someone to respect them.
Skills.
He respected Kendall in that moment when he smiled at him.
I don't think he respected him at all. I think he just.
What was the smile for, Nerdman? Explain it to us.
I don't know what the smile was for. I think the smile
there you
might
go.
have been like, I've got another.
Well, there you go. So it's not because you have a reason. It's just because you don't want to believe ours.
No, I'm gonna try and explain like just a little bit, but like I don't think the smile is how people are interpreting it as like, oh, I was proud of him in that moment. I think the smile was just a mixed reaction of like confusion and what am I gonna do next, and
what
you
don't smile when you have those feelings, do you? When you think, what am I gonna do next in my life? I'm in a bad spot. Do you start smiling?
What am I gonna do next? I mean. Like he immediately starts strategizing. He's like, "All right, fuck this."
Oh, so he's getting hard at the idea that he's going to war.
Yeah, I think it's like, "Fuck this kid." All right, it's on. Like that's what I think that little smirk was for. And then the realization dawned on him. No, I'm actually really fucked in this situation. And he started leaning on his children.
Wait a minute! We won! We won! Wait! Linus, I found it. We won. You cannot argue this at all. It came from the mouth of Brian fucking Cox. So don't even fucking try to argue this. You lost. You lost. Share the screen.
Go on.
Share the screen. Let me make this bigger here. Okay. So it talks about this, that Kendall stands in the back. Logan Roy flashes a big old grin after watching, blah, blah, blah. Was he about to, it's like the challenge of destroying his son, whom he already plenty of ammo against? Was he about to have a big plate of fucking chicken and make up for what Tom took the day before? Turns out, and this is straight from the Brian Cox himself, who plays Logan to Shakespearean degrees in succession, it was a moment of pride.
Thank you. There you go.
In an interview with Vulture on Monday, Cox said there was a certain inevitability to it. Logan is really setting Kendall up to become the man he has not been. This ties right back to the weird speech Logan gave Kendall when he informed him of his blood sacrifice.
Is that what Brian Cox said, or the right?
Yes, this is this is. Okay, you want me to read it again?
Oh, no,
no. Read the part again?
I just didn't know if it's in quotation.
And look at that right there.
An interview with Vulture. Here's his quote. Here we go. There's his quote. Okay. It was inevitable but surprising. In terms of Kendall having been so careful through the whole second season, he's shied away from his strength Kendall has. Logan knew in order to sacrifice himself, he would have to do it through his family. He figured the one chance he had was to make Kendall into the killer. That's why at the end he smiles. He achieved what he was after. My son has come of age. He's now officially a killer.
You know what, though?
Don't believe Brian Cox. This magnificent character. Don't believe him.
No, wait a second. And I have to say, I have to go like very soon, as I think so does Phil Miletus, just for work reasons. But just in relation to that, that's the actor saying that. I will believe it when the writer says that. I'm sorry.
The actor doesn't study the character he's playing.
I'm not saying that. I think he may have interpreted it wrong, because looking at what happens in the next season, I don't.
You are the delusional one here, not Logan Roy.
And Lunga, just to further my earlier point a little bit, when he said the thing about the blood sacrifice to rise again, I do think that's the theme that I've been getting throughout the show is like, you know, what you were saying, you were kind of agreeing with me earlier. Like, he does see the most potential in Kendall.
There's more. He talks about season 3. Wait a minute. There's more. There's more.
Okay, we'll go into it again. But let me say one thing. I'll tell you another thing that Brian Cox actually said to show that, yes, I think he's got a great handle on the character. And obviously, the actor has to interpret the role in how he's seeing it to be able to play it. But that's not necessarily what the writers are getting at. Okay, just because he sees it that way. So... he was
no, but you aren't misunderstanding. We're seeing it that way too before this.
Darth, maybe that's the way he's playing it a little bit. But Darth, he actually was asked who the favorite kid is or something like that, and he says, "Oh, I think the favorite kid is Shiv."
Yeah, the favorite kid, not the best to succeed him.
That's the one he has. If there's any softness in his heart, that's for Shiv. That's why. That's one reason why he calls her Pinky.
Those are different
things.
From
how he's been acting.
No, the daddies, no matter how sociopathic, always have a sweet spot for the daughter.
They have a sweet spot for little girls, and guess what? Brian Cox has a daughter. Maybe that's why he's interpreting the script that way. But I don't think that's what
they said it in the show, dude. All the kids said that Shiv was the favorite,
and it's good.
But these quotes have nothing to do with Shiv, though.
It's good.
These quotes have nothing to do with Shiv.
It like that because it makes it seem, when he's acting out to his kids as if he really cares about them, as if he really does see the potential in them, it makes it seem genuine.
Oh my God.
But when you actually listen to what he's saying, look, I'll tell you, the moment of sincerity he had...
When you listen to what he's saying, with your weird-ass interpretation of it...
Darth, I'll tell you this, before you go on to read this. In season 3, when he's sitting across the table and he's saying, "Oh, he's a good boy. You can rely on him. He's a good boy. He's a good kid in the end," right?
Yeah, that was manipulation.
I fucking believed him. I was like, wow, actually, you know, he really.
Those are words. That's not a reaction in that moment.
Then right after, you see exactly what he was really doing,
because it was a moment of weakness, and then he came back.
He's talking to Kendall, and he's telling him what's really going on in the sociopathic mind that he has. I'm sure maybe Brian Cox's view of the character may evolve after this season. We'll see.
But Nerdman, real quick, just to respond to that, I know we have to go. That doesn't make sense. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I mean, come on, dude. Talking to Adrian Brody in that moment in front of Kendall and saying one thing and then telling Kendall another thing, that's different than him smiling. He's not smiling in front of anyone to show something. That's his genuine in the moment reaction. That's a different thing, dude.
Yeah.
He also knew at that moment, talking to Adrian Brody, that both of them had to look good for it to happen. You understand?
Exactly.
Because the whole thing with Adrian Brody was, what's going to happen after you're gone? That was literally his entire thing. His whole reason for being hesitant was, what's going to happen after you're gone? Look, so guys, he had to prop up. And that's why I'm saying, you said you believed him. I can't understand how you could believe him. Because the whole point of it was to prove to Adrian Brody, even if it's a lie.
He was so sincerely acted in that moment.
And that's why you are biased in this situation. That's why there's literally the heart of every reason why you believe what you believe is because you're fooled. You are fooled just like his kids are. That's the problem. You're Kendall, brother.
I think you're fooled to how
Kendall.
Dude, what he's saying right here in this quote proves unequivocally that we're right.
And not only that, this is literally what I've been saying. This is literally, and I did not read this beforehand. I searched this just now. Like, there's got to be something out there. I did not read this, and it's almost literally everything I've been saying. That's what's so surreal about this. Cox, who in real life sounds like Logan's cuddly foil, talked more about the importance of that devil grin and why, though he's proud of Kendall, he's still going after him in season 3, which is what I was saying also is my second part. It was gratifying to play because once Logan received a death sentence, it was important to him who delivered a death. He wanted to keep it within the family, as opposed to coming from outside of the family. The smile in him saying, finally, my son is stepping up to the plate, doing what he needs to do to run a business. Finally, he's the heir apparent to Waystar Royco. In a way, it's a completion. But there's life in the old dog yet. We've got quite a journey now. Logan has to reclaim himself. He needs to even the odds, which is the point I was saying, is that he's still going to fight, but they have to. If you don't believe it from the man playing him, you are so stuck in your interpretation.
No. Because I've done drama.
Your man understands what the writers want more than he does.
Theater, and I know that you have to have a perspective on your character. That does not necessarily mean the perspective.
But you can't think that maybe his perspective is a little better than yours.
Different interpretations
just a little bit better than yours.
People have had of what Hamlet is going through. Every actor who plays Hamlet has a reason Hamlet, isn't going after his father or.
Okay, hold on. You're talking now about a 600-year-old story that's been played by people over and over again. Are you serious right now?
No.
That's interpretation.
I'm using it to illustrate.
That's people who want to bring something new to the role.
It's the actor's relationship to a character.
Because they want to bring something new. They need to stand out than the actors.
As static and as well-defined as Hamlet, even a character like that, every time an actor goes into that role, he has to interpret.
You don't. No. You are completely. Why is mine Hamlet? Weirdest. No. Listen. The Joker is the Joker, but each actor tries to bring something new to it. If this was the 10th iteration of Succession, and there was a different actor playing it, you could say, "Oh, he's trying to bring something new to Logan Roy." Sure, this is not it. This is the first time. The first time the actors were on the stage, they did what Shakespeare intended. Do you understand?
Right.
Actors do that because they want to leave a legacy. They're like, I'm playing a role that other people have played. I need to bring something new to this character, because if I don't, it's just going to be the same character over and over and over again.
I'm just saying it's not definitive.
A bad comparison.
I'm just saying it's not definitive just because an actor says, "Oh, this is." He may have been playing it like that in that moment, but actually the overarching arc, he might realize later when, reading or playing the.
Have you seen the actors talk to the directors and say, what is the character trying to do in this point? What's going on?
I know. I'm not.
But what you're saying is, unless the writers completely change what they intended, this was what was intended, it seems.
Well, look, I think what you're saying is a perfectly valid interpretation. I'm not trying to harp on what you're saying. And in the end, you might be right. But to me, I don't think this guy ever wants to give in to any of his family. I think he loves them as a family. As business fucking rivals, he will fuck them. He will fuck them and fuck them and fuck them and fuck them hard until his last breath. And if they take
over from there's life in the old dog yet. We got quite a journey now. Logan has to reclaim himself. He needs to even the odds.
Yeah, no one's disagreeing with that.
He's humanizing Logan in a way that I don't think. I just.
But there's nothing
saying he thinks his son finally became a killer is humanizing him.
Yeah, that's not sentimental or moral. It's what's necessary, dude. That's how he looks at it. It's what's necessary.
No, but he's trying to humanize him to understand him from his perspective as a person who probably isn't a sociopath. Right?
No human will say they're humanizing someone that wants to mold their child into a killer.
Is it or is it not inevitable that someone
killer, he means metaphorically?
Is it or not? Is it or is it not inevitable that someone eventually, besides Logan Roy, will run that company? Yes or no?
Absolutely yes.
Okay, so definitely. would it based on what you know about him, would he rather the person that takes it from him and he wants them to take it because he's going to fight till his last breath, like you said, to be someone from his family or someone from outside?
Well, absolutely somebody from his family.
Then you just agreed with everything we said.
Unless things completely change radically, yes.
Then we just agreed on everything.
That being said, I don't think at the moment what is driving his actions is him thinking that far ahead. I think what is driving his actions is him thinking about keeping power at the moment because he's the best person to run his company.
And he has to do that in order for them to take it. You see, you're still agreeing, but you just don't want to agree on the one part of it. He has to do that for them. Of course he's going to keep power. Because if he doesn't and doesn't try to, he's rolling over and they're not going to be the people they need to be to take over. Right. He has to do that.
I just don't see that that's a major consideration of his. I don't. I think
you want him to be a complete animal monster that is like the Joker. He doesn't give a shit.
No, he's not an idiot.
I don't think that's like the Joker. That's not. He's not an idiot, but he wins by luck a lot of the time.
No, but he's not. He's not blind to the fact that he's mortal.
He's just ruthless enough to take that.
The first scene of the show is him pissing in the floor, and he doesn't know where he's at, dude. He knows he's an old man.
He doesn't. Dude,
then he has a stroke.
One thing he definitely doesn't know. He does not realize his.
Why is that the first scene in the show, dude? Is him pissing in the floor?
Because it's him. That's the whole point. That he is that vulnerable, but he can't accept it. He will not accept it. He should have.
I think you're missing something here, Nerdman. A little bit.
Left CEO position from
right, but that argument doesn't dispute what we're saying. It only supports what we're saying. It doesn't dispute it.
Yeah, him pissing in that floor to begin the show and knowing in his own heart and mind and his alone time is he does, dude. That's what it's showing you.
Moments, just like we all do in our most private moments, in our dreams, in
right.
the moment. Just
and that's where you glean the most insight to a human.
Consciousness and or waking and unconsciousness. Yeah, we glean our mortality in those few seconds, but most of the time when we're living our lives outside in the world, acting in the world, we cannot accept our mortality. We cannot accept this notion that we're going to keel over one day. We can't even comprehend that.
But the deepest parts of Logan Roy.
And I imagine it gets worse and worse as you get older and older, and that reality becomes more and more daunting, that you have to do even more to delude yourself into the idea that you've got more years left. I've got at least 10, 20 years left.
You can believe that, but then but then you still, here's the thing. You can believe that.
And when you're him,
but you still know,
a maniac like him, it's even worse.
Okay, but here's the thing. While a rational person outside can go, you only got a couple years left. In his mind, screw that, I got 20 years left. But that's still a finite number, Nerdman. It's still a finite number. He still knows that one day, even if it's not tomorrow, that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay? So that inevitability is still there.
And I don't think
he tries to drag it out as long as he can, it's still there.
Yeah, but in the moment, right now, his concern, beyond his health, beyond anything else, is to retain power. That's his main goal. The main thing he's trying to do.
Why? Because if his kids aren't ready,
it's why? Why? Because he wants power and he thinks he deserves.
Well, that's one aspect of it, but it's also that if he is going to not have it, it has to be his family. If they're not ready, he has to hold on to it.
I know.
He's not going to let some outsider take it.
I agree with that bit, but That's a long way off for him.
But you're still missing the point that it's two birds with one stone. Him fighting to keep his power forces his kids to fight to take it. Do you not? Why can't you understand that dichotomy? That it's you saying it's his only motivation, and he cannot possibly think about anything else, which is completely strange. With a person of his position, that he could not have gotten there if he doesn't think that way. He knows it's two birds with one stone. I'm going to fight till the end. The old dog, there's still life in the old dog's left, to keep my power until they can finally take it. If they don't, it doesn't happen. But I'm going to fight to the end, and they have to fight to take it. And if him fighting to the end forces them to do it, he's going to keep doing it, because it also helps him retain power at the same time.
And when a show is called Succession and Succession Plan,
I think the
general succession plan.
The title is ironic.
No, dude, a succession plan. It is ironic in the sense that it's a deconstruction of what a normal succession plan would be. I train this person in a corporate manner, and then I groom them and I hand it over to them. That's not what he's doing. He's teaching them the art of war.
Yeah. Look, guys, this has been a fire discussion. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The last half an hour, 45 minutes of this, whatever we've been talking, is exactly what I've wanted, man. Brilliant. And you've argued your points brilliantly, guys. I hope we can actually watch maybe the last episode, at least come on and review after we've watched this finale episode, maybe revisit some of these thoughts together. Absolutely. I hope we can do that. If you have time longer, it will be fantastic.
Yeah. The only stopping me is depending on my sleep schedule. Like this happened to be a night that I can't sleep. So I'm out.
Yeah. I'll try my best to be in a place where I can watch it and then stream right after. So if you guys are there, that would be fantastic. But man, what you brought it. I think I'm right. This is going to be a war
surprise
between us of who's fucking right about this.
I can't wait, Elias. I can't wait till sometime next season when Logan says to someone, "I only have so much time left." I can't wait.
Right.
I can't wait because he's going to say it to someone. It's going to happen.
We'll see. I don't know that his ego can accept.
He might not have to. He might not say it, but someone's going to say it. Lunga's right. Like whether it's him saying it or a doctor.
To himself,
it has to be him in a room by himself for you guys to be proven categorically right. It has to be.
Well, I mean, let's not destroy. Let's not destroy nuance.
Genuinely mean it.
Let's not destroy nuance.
He genuinely means it for it to be meaningful. Because I don't necessarily think. I think this show is about really how easy it is to be seduced by. It's almost like the banality. It's almost like the banality of evil, right? It's like this banality of evil kind of idea.
You analyze shows like Schrodinger's cat.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm just saying.
There's a box. If the cat's in the box, there is no cat. Unless you show me the cat, there's no cat.
All I'm saying is, I think that when this season, more than anything, has proven to me, oh my God, these people that I've cared about, that I've concerned myself about, I knew they were fucking horrible. I saw the first episode, but somehow this show took me on this journey to humanizing them somehow. And even though I heard about these deaths, people being thrown off boats, people, molestations of staff and all of this, even though I knew all of that, somehow I was still kind of sold into rooting for them. And then you saw exactly what this power really is, and how
I never felt
really
that
is in this season with that presidential thing. And we haven't talked about those three guest stars.
Yeah.
Hopefully we could talk about it.
No, we never did. I don't care about the guest stars. To me, honestly, watching really this was like intriguing to me, like watching something about a serial killer. I don't have any feeling for them. I don't have any feeling for them. It's not like that. It's like none of them are humanized to me. None of them. I didn't feel any sympathy for any of them. It was more like watching a train wreck. It was like watching something about serial killers, and it's like, oh Jesus, how is this gonna go? How is this gonna end? Where is this heading? That's how it is for me.
I think it's a credit to the show's writing and how interesting and complex it is that we have this kind of discussion about it.
Yeah. Right. It's great writing on our show. Great writing.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I've got to get off to work, basically. Yeah. But man, dude, you brought it so hard. It was fire, dude. And I love this discussion. So yeah, again, if you're available, hopefully we'll be able to. I'm not even sure if I can do it, to be fair, but I want to do a stream because I think it's the finale. Is it the finale episode next one? Yep. It is?
Yeah, it's the last episode.
I want to be there and discuss everything because I think it's going to have a hell of a cliffhanger, this one. Might be the best episode yet. Thanks, Lunga. Guys,
no problem,
Darth Lunga.
Thank you for having me.
Please, definitely. Can you send me a link so I can just post your the link to your channel? Please do subscribe. He's got much more subscribers than I do. So, but if there's a few of you want to you want to subscribe, but look, it's thanks, man, for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. If you send me a link in private.
I didn't copy and paste that. I just typed it.
All right. The Grey Count. Okay, good.
Let me write center right one because I forgot to put the slashes in there.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, and obviously, Filmalita is like a brother to me. The brother.
Love you long time.
the constantly infuriating little brother who just wants to fucking poke at my at my vulnerabilities, but nonetheless, a brother. So yeah, you brought it as well, man. Absolute fire. Hopefully we'll see you for the next one. Apart from that, please do subscribe to the Grey Council. It's in the chat there. I'm going to put it in the description as well. That is Darth Lunga does great stuff as well. I think you do like this ranking stuff. I've seen you with the gangster movies.
Yeah, that's Thursday night. Well, tonight now at this point it's Thursday already. We do me and Stormy and Yellow's going to be with us this week. We do a what the rank. This week we're doing Harry Potter movies. So we're ranking the Harry Potter movies.
Oh wow! Okay, I'll be there for that. Apart from that. Love the comments. If you're a Succession fan, tell me, who do you think deserves the Emmy this season? I think pretty much we're Team Roman here for the Emmy at least. Any other comments? Where do you think? Do you think Kendall's dead? And will you watch the show afterwards? So please do comment on that. Like the stream, or I don't even think you can dislike streams anymore or dislike YouTube videos anymore. But whatever, any way you want to engage, do engage. And is there anything else? Tell your friends about me. Apart from that, guys, I'm gonna see you on the flip side. Love you 3000. Peace.